Hello everybody, welcome to CPL Match of the Week. Once again, I am Neblime here with State Zero, bringing you the finest preseason games. We have cherry-picked a few that we think will be very entertaining, so I can't wait to get into these games, see just what these players can do. Now that they're assigned to teams, we'll be scouting out who to be afraid of, maybe who not to be so afraid of. State Zero's here with me. How you doing, State Zero?
I'm good, although you're putting up a high bar for what we're doing tonight. We've cast a lot of great games in this preseason so far, so saying these are gonna be the best ones, man, you picked them. Just letting everyone know, he picked everything. So.
Well, for sure, there have been some excellent games, but I think the players tonight are going to raise that bar even higher. Let's just jump into that first game and find out. So tonight we're casting a pretty high tier. I would say tier 0 games, mostly tier 0, maybe bordering tier 1. Of course, this is still in preseason and such things were indeterminate. Okay, so in the top right, in the olive, we have Flo. And in the bottom left in the teal, confusingly enough, we have Doodle Doodle playing the Terran here. So a good old TVZ starting us off here on Eclipse. Of course, we're still casting week 2 matches this time around, so it's going to be Eclipse all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see this one, and I do respect Doodle Doodle switching the name to Toodle Toodle because the Terran race switch was a Pro player last season. Very strong with that, so like seeing how the race switch goes, and we already know Flo is quite the strong player, so this is going to be a good one to start off on. Like, I didn't have anything to do with it, but it seemed like maybe you did pick some bangers after all.
Give Neblime some credit, eh? Yeah, he knows a thing or two about a thing or two. I think this is going to be a very intense game for sure. We've seen some very intense TVZs rather. What was the one we were casting just the other day? Was it yesterday? No, it must have been last week, where it had all those irradiates. Who were those players? I forget now.
Dude, I don't remember these kind of things. There's too many games, and that's not. There's no shade on any of the people here. It's just I'm already like, if I meet you at a party, I'm not gonna remember you the first time.
I mean, I'm literally saying.
When I don't even have a face to put to it, like I'm sorry. I try my best.
Yeah, I'm literally saying that was a great game. So like, if I don't remember you, it's not because you didn't play well. For sure.
Yeah.
But I think that was maybe a bit more of a tier 1 level game. I don't know, maybe like high tier 1, low tier 0. But I think these players are really going to bring the best possible game. We see Doodle Doodle. See, he's doing a slightly different wall. He's doing like the reverse. Well, I don't know how to call it. You know, the DP is going to be above in this case. So it's going to be a bit different to what we saw previously here.
That feels worse.
I mean,
because
maybe.
like if you have the depot above and you wanted to break through with links, you have so much more surface area for the links and not the surface area for the repair. Isn't that worse?
Well, yeah, I suppose. I'm thinking about it, and with the other wall, the thing is, the other wall links can just get on the left depot anyway, or either depot, because you have like 270 degrees of space. I don't know. Probably much of a muchness, to be honest.
Well, I mean, the egg's on the left side of the depot with the other kind of wall. So at least that like kind of restricts it a little bit. I think gives you a little more repair room. So
well, what if he just doesn't finish it? If he sees hatch first, what if he just doesn't finish it? He has the option just to not put a depot there. Because you don't want to finish that if you don't have to. And it looks like he won't, actually. Just playing it safe, just in case he needed to. So if it's a 9 pool, he just throws down a depot, he's laughing at Zerg. But since it's not, he's just like, okay, I'm just going to get my CC. So honestly, it's a pretty normal build, just with these buildings positioned down here. Now, this is very popular in the pro meta recently. You know, as I've said many times, I'm not sure I'm a fan, but if pros are doing it, it must be pretty smart, right? Okay, there we go. He's getting an additional depot here, just making that gap even narrower, but still technically has a path that Marine can sneak through there.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe if you wanted to delay getting that extra depot because you see the hatchery first, maybe you can plug that up later with a bunker or something instead. Like, have a little more flexibility, something a little more punch that's when it's part of the wall. But we are seeing a nice 2-hatch lair. Love seeing Scout play. That Scout's still very alive, and there's no length spawn just yet, so I think you're not going to be able to get this SCV out of here in time, so either going to be very sneaky or we should be expecting some mutants.
Yeah, I think it's going to be muta for sure. I mean, honestly, the higher armor we go, the more likely I think we are to just see 2-hatch muta on this map, because it's kind of hard to hide anything when it's 2-player. You know the SCV is going to be in there in a good time. But we'll see. You can always switch gears at the last second and like throw out the hydrogen just as the SCV's dying. Look, he's getting out here, and of course the hydrogen would be getting a bit late now. That drone trying to come on and get a shot, but it does think better of it. The SCV willingly leaving the Zerg base. I'm not sure about that. I guess he's saying, well, if you had a hydrogen, it would be up by now. So I'm just gonna move out of the map, try and save this SCV, maybe send it out later to look for a third.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty reasonable because if nothing else, you're also you know if the lanes are chasing you, like you're trying to get maybe some positioning, where these overlords are. There's a lot of little information I think you can gain from this, and you know, like that SCV is gonna die soon enough. You didn't see the Hydra. You can deduce what's gonna happen, and as we see in the production tab, it is gonna be that Spire first. As lane speed is about to finish up as well, so we'll see if this SCV gets killed off quite quickly. But so far, both players, this is as stock standard as it gets, right? We got the 2 Hatch Mew, we got the 2 Rax Academy right behind it.
Oh, I would say in modern play, most often we actually see the Academy before the second Rax going for a really fast stim timing, but I would definitely say it's more middle of the road play maybe than even his standard, if that makes sense. He's really just going to get that stim and medic up and get everything established, I think, before he puts too much pressure on here. He won't have a very sharp stim timing to hit the Zerg with. He could technically move across, but on Eclipse here, like by the time you get to this natural, the mutas would not be far off. So I don't think he's going to do more than a token move out here. I'd be surprised if he committed to an attack, and we see a Sunken is going to go down just on time. There it goes.
Well,
Damn.
Well, I will say though, like, so you're not going to get that super fast stim timing, but having that extra Rax a little earlier, you're going to have a little more punch to it. Like, this Marine count already looking pretty healthy, got that first medic building energy, and already making it around the Fire Bat. So I think Doodle wants to get aggressive here, and I kind of like this, but
those Fire Bats definitely indicate a move out, but if he wanted to move out, he should already have been doing it though, so I'm not so sure. Okay, he's going to come now, but as you can see, the Spire's just about to finish, so the most he can do here is intimidate the Zerg. There's no real chance that he gets across and breaks him, but he could sacrifice his Bio Ball and potentially kill the third, but it's guaranteed that either the mutas come to his base and do harass, or that Bio dies. Like, if he goes and commits to killing this third, there's no way they're making it home if the mutas choose to kill them.
Yeah, quite possibly, but even just having the move out, if you maybe should force some Sunkens, if you can get some damage done, you get these lanes to press back, and you don't end up losing too much from the mutas. But here they come as they start spawning out with decent amount of mutas being made and air weapons being researched. So a little bit of the commitment, I think, on the muta. We're going to see it kind of build up for a while here. But I think G46 already in good position to help defend this, but they're going to move forward here up to the ramp. Mutas are going to be here to defend. The Fire Bat doing a great job against the Lynx, but what about the mutas?
Yeah, and we can see that these mutas will eventually whittle down the Spire. Maybe they don't want to take the fight right away, but the hatchery has enough health that you're not really going to accomplish anything here. He's going to get a single drone, I suppose, but even just morphs the gas, so I really don't feel like Terran is accomplishing too much here. Like, yeah, he's going to start shooting the hatchery, but that's just the muta's cue to come back in and clean this up, and like, what, he's going to lose one muta? I don't really like Doodle-Doodle's position right now, being down all that bio without really getting much out of it. I mean, I suppose he delayed drones here a little bit, but I don't think it's really worth it. I would say if he moved out immediately with the medics, didn't wait for the Fire Bats, maybe he's hitting this hatchery in time and he can gun it down before the mutas do something, and that would be worth it. But now I think Flo in a pretty dominating position already.
I mean, is there a world though where maybe going for the natural instead? Because then there's drones that actually kill, maybe force.
Well, anytime there's no sunk there, if there's no sunk there, or you can kill that sunk before the mutas hatch, totally, you're always doing something amazing there. But I don't know if I think Flo, you know, he would have been ready just in time. I think he's astute enough to prepare for that kind of defense. Now these mutas coming in harassing, and we see Doodle can't even move out to push them back. He has to defend his base. Which is exactly what Zerg wants. Zerg going up for +1 air attack, and you know, I've seen this out of Flo a lot of times. I think he pretty much always doubles down on the mutas for a long time before he techs out of it. Now, it can be strong, you kind of lean on the Terran, do a lot of damage, but also potentially it gives Terran a way back into the game if you don't accomplish enough before they tech to Vessel and you don't have lurkers out, and you're in a bit of trouble.
Well, look at where he found though. One turn down south side, unprotected, doesn't get repair in time. He is trying to do some big damage. And that wall now kind of making these units hard to clump together. You can see them as they go up the ramp and everything. Finds a weakness in the main where there's no turrets as well. Big damage from Flo as this goes through. And Doodle trying to regroup the army. Maybe he can dry this out, but these units get out. That's a big hit here. Doodle took well over 10 SCVs worth of damage. That evens up the worker count, and Flo's got to be thrilled to see it.
Absolutely. Well, this is the big problem with losing all that bio, right? If all that was alive, Flo would be over here across this end of the map, and the mutas would also have to be over that end of the map. But now, he can't really threaten Zerg, so the mutas are free to come in here and harass. Even taking all that damage from turrets isn't too concerning for the Zerg. When things are closer, even if you take just a little bit too much damage from turrets, Terran's going like, alright, I'm going out on the map. But now, you know, we don't see too many turrets being remade. And there are any turrets in this corner. Looks like he's going to go for the exact same spot. And Terran hasn't adapted. It's still a weak spot here. The bio rushes back in. Two Marines were hanging out there, but they're about to have a bad day. Not a good place to have a smoke. Oh.
Yeah, still, this is a lot of damage. Flo's finding great opportunities here.
How
and trying to
die?
microplay well,
Okay,
doing a great job here. Muta's taking a lot of damage, but very few actually going down. And look, you see Muta's grouping up by the natural as well. So going up to a high Muta count, getting that level 2 air attack upgrades, that makes me think whenever Hive comes, we're going to see Guardian play. Flo's playing with a great style here, really containing Doodle back in his base. And maybe that race switch showing a little bit of inexperience. You can see him struggling to deal with the pressure.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, he didn't rebuild turrets, so I think it's a critical mistake here. You see that there's a weak spot and the flow's going for it. I think you need to build one there in the bottom right, or the bottom left rather, and rebuild the ones that have died. But now the Marines kind of surround these Mutilas. You might see good damage go down here, but still abusing the weak spot, not committing to fight these Marines. Good damage going down there, but oh, there's only so many Marines. That's settled. The Mutas are very low. Oh my god, how is he keeping so many alive? Down to 5 now, so he has lost quite a few. But at the same time, how many SCVs does Terran really have?
Look at the natural. There's a whole group of Mutas just waiting.
Oh my god.
We're so hard to main. There's a great opportunity. Flo wants to be insane. Just keep going for these attacks. Oh. He's still making Mutas. He's not even getting the Queen's Nest. His Factor going to float over, see something here. But now he sees a giant clump of Mutas. There's no bio here to repel this. A lot of turrets at least, but still, there's a lot of damage, especially with these attack upgrades. So easy to mow through these turrets, doing so much damage to the worker lines. And Flo taking a 4th base behind this. This game is looking immaculate from Flo. Exactly what we want to see from these high-level players.
Yeah, and he's just going to go and pick more SCVs here. That single turret not going to do anything. Oh, unfortunately, he doesn't have the full flock for +1. But look at all these Mutas coming in here. Actually, that might be a mistake. Those Marines are ready to repel the 2 full instantly. But nonetheless, the aggression is over just for now. A 4th base going up, and we still don't even see a Hydra Den or a Queen's Nest. He is just Muta Man today. You've heard of Gateway Man, you've heard of Hydra Man. It's time for Muta Man. Making 9 Mutalisks at once. Did his 3-hatch lair just finish? No, he's just making that many. Look at this, like, swarm. He's going to block out the sky with all these Mutalisks. Still no turrets up in the main.
I think this Flo really likes watching Soma play. That was one of the things that got him famous. All these double group control, real big aggression here. Finds Worker Bio out of position. Not enough punch to go through here. You can take the fight straight up without the +2 upgrades, but still, there's just so many Mutas here. And Doodle trying his best to keep up, but look at this Zerg. Up a lot of workers, up significant amount of supply, leaning into his air tech, and you're just never going to be able to make turrets enough to do this. Like, you can hide them under buildings all you want, but it's just not enough. Flo won that game and well deserved it.
Yeah, that was really interesting, just like pure Muta play. You know, he had the good micro, he just kept putting the pressure on. Like we're talking about, you can put a lot of pressure on Terran like this, and you know, you suddenly... I think I used this metaphor another day, but it's like playing Mutas is like you have a crowbar, you're trying to open the Terran. Like every little advantage you get gives you a bit more leverage, and so it just adds up.
Yeah. Now, since we got a little bit of time between games and there's a little chat action, wondering about, oh, like I played in these groups and my games didn't get cast. You got to remember a couple things. That one, there's a lot of people in here. But two, if you've been on the Match of the Week, I have cast 1 game from every player in Match of the Week on purpose. So if your games weren't cast, you didn't upload replays. That's not our bad, that's your bad.
Yes, I have to say that both groups I looked at, they were missing replays, so there's not much I can do if the replays literally don't exist.
Yeah, that's why we actually switched the Match of the Week, especially for the preseason, into this 2-group style, so we don't like see groups like, oh, it doesn't got all 10 replays, we can't cast this, or it helps us mitigate walkovers and all these kind of things, but a lot of people just not a lot of replays, so really, guys, got to be good about that, especially in the regular season, but we got another game to watch right now.
In the bottom left, in the green, we have Olin. And in the top right, in the peach, Terran, well, I was going to say hero, but he lost, so does it make him hero? Returns. Doodle doodle.
I mean, this is like that Disney movie story arc. You got to lose the first fight. Now you're the underdog. Now the training montage. So
he's up against another Zerg, so let's see if he can pull something off here. I feel like he was very slack with how many turrets he made there, because you don't expect Zerg to just keep making so many Mutas. You really expect him to tech Lurker, but that's why you have Terran map hacks. You know, you keep an eye on what Zerg's doing. And if you pick up on that, you just turret up, tech to vessel, and then you'll be golden.
Well, I mean, we're going to see a very different style of Zerg, especially from Olin. I definitely don't see him being all the Mutas. Like, playing the PGA, like, I found one unit that I love, like, just playing the way they want to play. All a lot more straightforward, a little more by the book. I still expect to see Mutas as the opener, but I would be very prepared to see a much more stable kind of game. Getting the lurkers in the mid-game, getting a hive at a reasonable timing, not just slamming the air and hope you can break through.
Yeah, that's very much a Flow thing from what games of his I've seen. He pretty much always goes with that. What was interesting last game as well is he went for that 4th base, fairly brazenly I would say, just on the Mutas alone. Normally you don't see that. If you want to do a Muta all in, you stick with 3, not trying to overextend, but it worked out fine because obviously Doodle Doodle wasn't able to leave his base and come out on the map, so not a bad move at all. It's just a very unique move, I think, to how Flow plays. So I guess we'll see Olin's variation. Now look at this. He actually went for an overpull here. So that's a very anti-proxy move, I feel. I don't think it's very is very good for putting pressure on the Terran. Now, if Terran goes for a 15cc, which he probably shouldn't, I believe you can put some pressure on. Or alternatively, if you make 6 things right away, you do force a bunker out with this. But I'm still not sure it's a good position for Zerg compared to just attach first. But it's not as behind as doing something like 9-pool, obviously. It's just a very defensive build. And this drone hiding, actually, not showing itself. So now the SCV comes in, but it sees the pool timing. So I think it has a pretty good idea that what it's up against here. Or was that a 9-pool, actually? Wait, no, it's earlier than I thought. Maybe it is a 9-pool. I don't know.
I wasn't particularly sure. I thought I saw the Overlord, so I was thinking Overpool as well, but, you know, I wasn't... I'll be completely honest, I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have. But you gotta remember, this is preseason games, and
no, I think
it's
it is
someone...
an Overpool, by the way. But go on.
Yeah, it's also... Allen's playing against someone who's admittedly race switching, so maybe... like early on, like maybe you're looking for a little cheese, trying to do earlier things because maybe like your late game's not going to execute as well. Especially if you're just learning Terran, controlling a lot of bio, being very careful with your vessels. There's definitely a lot of unit management that's hard to actually like handle. So maybe doing something that your opponent might not be prepared for, or something that would be safe against like any kind of early cheese play. I kind of like the decision from Allen if he's comfortable knowing how to play afterwards in case like his build doesn't do the aim it was going for.
Yeah, well, you're right. We did see last game, Doodle not really comfortable with the kind of decision making and moving out the bio, moved them out at the wrong time, I would say, and you know, lost them for no real gain. That really set him up for defeat in that game. So yeah, you might be right about that. That just doing something a little unorthodox is going to throw his opponent off. And well, the lair comes up at pretty much a normal time though, so you're not going to be able to like surprise him with any fast tech. And Doodle with that link-proof wall wasn't really worried about link aggression that much here.
Yeah, I think being pretty reasonable, but I mean, is this link proof? There is an SCV hanging out by the depot, so I feel like there is a gap, right? There has to be at least a gap.
No, this is tight. Like as long as the SCV is there, it's tight. Well, of course, you could kill the SCV, but look at this. He goes for an eBay first. Now, I don't know about this because he's basically facing a 2-hatch timing. It's like going to be 5 seconds later or whatever. So he could be surprised, actually, if mutas fly in, he's thinking he has time for, like, 3-hatch muta. That would not be right. You can go eBay first against 2-hatch. It's technically a thing. It's not easy. But I think he's thinking it's 3-hatch or something like that. I'm not sure what he's thinking, going for this eBay first.
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't keep the SCV scout really kind of going through, because I don't think if he's really aware of the lair time, it doesn't confirm a lack of a Hydra Den or any of these kind of things, which, like you point out, every time you see a Terran wall on this map, you got to be especially aware of lurkers, because that could really snowball out of control if you kind of lose control of the front of your base. But Allen can add in a lot of drones behind this. Here comes that Spire, so despite the opening not being quite as economic, the situation is not looking bad. SCV is going to waltz on in, though, see what's going on. And, you know, I think we can go from here, but with the Academy not being done, his stim and all of the range upgrades going to be ready.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. Now, like I said, that muta tech is delayed like 5 seconds or something compared to a normal 12-hatch opening. But yeah, I don't think Terran has any potential to move out, of course, before mutas hatch. And besides that, defending might be a bit more tricky if you don't have as much time to get stim and marine change up. But if he can survive the initial muta time without taking any damage, he will have a very strong upgrade with +1. And he'll be able to move out and put a lot more pressure on.
Well, I mean, the fact that we saw one barracks production for a while and now adding on a bunch of barracks behind this, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just going to be that 5 racks +1, getting the eBay up so maybe you have a little bit of an earlier punch, like, as everything completes. But it is about, like, you are conceding your map control. You got to make sure you can defend aggression. And hopefully the turret placement a little bit better. I think, like, originally when he played against Flo, not that turrets were in bad spots and, like, he had a really glaring hole. But like you said, once the weakness got exposed, he didn't reinforce the defense there. So hopefully a lesson learned. But I don't know the order these games were played, because we were seeing a lot of differences. This wasn't 2 racks as fast as we saw in the first game. So definitely a lot of differences.
Well, he's still going for +1 air attack. So, I don't know, it might be similar. He comes at 3rd base as well. Now, about that weak point last game, in a normal game, if you haven't lost that by pushing 3rd, if Zerg flies in to like a deep place in a Terran base like that, and eventually gets pushed out, it's not so bad because the mutas will take a lot of damage. But since Zerg had already eliminated so much bio, I think he was much more comfortable doing that. So, many factors in that last game. And once again, we don't see many turrets going up in the main right now. The mutas are flying across. I mean, there's a couple on the barracks, but the CC looks pretty vulnerable to me. And I don't think we see marine range even started yet.
Yeah, I don't think we're really going to see any of this happening in time. The +1 is nearing completion at least, but this is what I was talking about with Allen's play. He's got the mutas coming across. He's going to force the reaction, and right behind it, there's that Hydra Den. So should be going into lurkers, much more normal style play, see if there is the adaptation. Although some of these turrets are up, we got a bunker up at the front as well.
Oh, the
these
wall.
are 2 free depots, just chip them away, man.
Well, we'll see how free they are if the Terran can do something about it. But yeah, Terran doesn't really want to engage in that narrow area, of course. But Olin being very conservative with these mutas, just trying to conserve the HP as much as he can. I don't think he really wants to engage the bio. Whoa.
You say that.
Yeah, he needs to be careful because he's not making any additional ones. I'm surprised going for +1 attack if he's only making 6 meters here. But you know, he's kind of just making sure Terran did his due diligence, making sure there's turrets everywhere. Again, he didn't try and hit this main. He might have found some damage there. But so far, he's doing a good job keeping Terran back in his base. I mean, Terran has not left yet, so I suppose these mutas are paying for themselves so far. Now, Hydrogen finished, but we don't see Aspect yet. He's instead making a lot more mutilus here. Okay, Aspect just starts now. I guess he did want to go up to 11 just after getting that Hydrogen underway.
Well, I mean, it could be a lot of things. We see Lurker Aspect on the way, but this does give the opportunity, because remember, he did poke in the base enough. He got a little bit of the info of what his opponent was doing. He knows vessels are pretty far away at this point, right? Yes. So maybe that's what you're looking for, is like if you know it's going to be like fast vessels, fast to radiate, don't lean all in on the mutas, because that makes it very difficult to play out. But when you know it's like, oh, it's just going to be bio, I can use my micro to kind of get some opportunities here. He's going to poke forward here. He's got the big group up at the front here. And Gaping trying to crowd out around by his turrets, make the defense a little more robust, but still, you gotta be very careful about the positioning. We've seen it happen before. This just buys time for all in.
Nice swipe there. Yeah, getting good value so far there, not losing a single muta. Really well done. Bit of an anti-time before +1 finishes, nonetheless. This is not going to be a 5-racks, by the way. It's a 4-racks, going straight into SK, it looks like. So, he's not going to be relying on moving out that bio. He's going to wait until, I think, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. I was going to say, maybe he's going to wait till a vessel, but no, here he comes moving out right now. And I guess compelled to retreat. Lurker Aspect is on the way. Are there any Hydras in position? I don't see any. Oh, okay, there's one at the 3rd. And with a Sunken as well. I think he's safe for now. Thing is, Terran has a lot faster +1 armor than he would with a 2x Academy opening. I wonder if that's potentially a factor here. If there's only one Lurker at that 3rd, you could probably actually sprint past that. But then the thing is, with the mutas and the Sunken there, it does become a lot riskier to engage. I don't know. It would be tough. Very tough fight. But if the mutas are absent, for example, I think the Terran could actually do something here. Okay, gonna catch up. Targeting these medics. Does he get one? Oh, doesn't do enough damage. Gets Marines anyway.
Well, Gaping's got to be careful. He did scan the 3rd. He sees the lack of the defense up at the ramp, but at the moment he has 1 scan available and no like mobile detection. So if you're going to try to force that engage, you have to be very careful here. And we do see one Lurker behind it with an egg kind of buying time. That's not bad. Free Overlord kill though, so you know whatever you can get, not so bad.
And yeah, his +1 armor not quite finished, so I don't think a bust could actually happen until that is finished. So he's definitely missed his window here. Olin wisely reinforcing another Lurker. But hang on, are there any Lurkers here in the natural? I don't see any. Oh, they're under that Overlord. Okay.
Yeah, they're hiding those beautiful kind of spots. But these mutas park outside, free damage for the bio here. Gonna keep stimming forward. A decent amount of medics are here, so it's gonna keep everything healthy. And Olin not really like. I think he's just trying to bait like fake that he's gonna go for swing counterattack. He hasn't actually committed to it at all. And Gaping back at home has built up a decent other clump of bio. So I think it's gonna be hard to really do any good counterattack damage. But Olin's moving into the main, see if he can find some opportunity.
Now, Doodle Doodle here, not going for Vessel, he's going straight to double dropship. We'll talk about that in a minute before these mutalists come in here. Once again, very minimal defense in the main. There's no turrets in the mineral line. I mean, these mutalists' use in the game is diminishing a lot as soon as Vessels come out, so getting this value is actually huge. And how do the Marines even get back in here? They don't even know what to do. Again, the same weak spot in the back corner of the base. There's no turret covering here. Now, these Marines, they who have 1-1, there's a good number of them, they got range and everything, they should be able to push these Marines back, but they see the dropships, and not only do they see them, they pick one off, continuing to kill Marines. This is a great move by Olin, and he just comes back into the main, keep killing SCVs. We're getting caught at that.
I don't know, he's threatening to lose a lot of mutas here though, has to be careful how he maneuvers, but
yeah, but you don't care about mutas anymore. This is the point of the game where the mutas start becoming worthless as soon as it radiates out, which is on the way, mind you. So I think getting this value of them now is huge. Now, I highly doubt he's going to be able to cancel +2 here. Well, is that even researching +2? Yeah, it is. That would have been huge, but that's unlikely. That's a stretch goal for sure.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's just buying all the time in the world. Hive's complete, the fire mount on the way, building nice, and look at that worker count. Olin behind this, very calm. Just, you don't feel comfortable attacking here. I'm just gonna drone like crazy, keep getting these upgrades, get myself in a nice big position here. And you can see finally that dropship joins up, and Overlord sees the entire thing. And I saw some Scourge getting made. Let's see if this dropship can get in there. Here comes the Scourge. Is it gonna be able to drop any units at time? Unfortunately, no. All the bio gets killed off. A massive loss there, and Olin's defense looking super clean right now as he gets that Defiler tech on the way.
Yeah, I have to say though, Doodle Doodle's macro is formidable right now. Look how many Marines he's been able to produce, and in the main as well. His money is so low. I mean, look at Ollins. He has a huge bank, but he might be saving it for a big Ultra switch.
But the worker count, though. He hasn't been replenishing. He's been on 2 bases. Like, once the harassment's happened, he's starting to losing that economic lead. So while he's going to build a very strong army here, I feel like if it doesn't do good damage, he's going to be in a really bad spot moving forward. Because at this point, like, how do you afford to take your 3rd base? Like,
yeah,
you can even see he's keeping bio back at home just in case there is that counterattack. But big army moving forward here. Not a lot of vision from Allin to catch it, but there's no vessels with this army either, unfortunately. It's just a whole lot of ground units.
Well, these mutas are not going to get anything done in round 2 because there's bio waiting there for them. Oh, yeah, they decide against it. Yeah, now with these vessels, I mean, I don't know. He's gonna have to get a lot of value over time with them, and the problem is Zerg already banking up a good amount of money. Now, 3 base switches Ultra, I'm not so sure is going to be worth it, but then again, you know, so many bios already died to the mutas, they did good damage. Maybe Zerg is in such a position he can do that.
The muta's just harassing more in the main, more in the mineral line, more kills being... that little bio group wasn't quite enough. You can see half of them like chilling by depots, not actually being active in defense. It will eventually will all these down, but getting some more worker kills, making your opponent think about where to go. A ton of scans going down. He wants to know how many bases he's working against. And when Zerg's still on 3, attacking into it might be difficult.
I do have to criticize here that he didn't check the bottom right, which is a very common location for Zerg sync bases. All that Defiler, well, there goes 1. There's 150 gas down the drain. So I don't think he really has a total handle on this map. Luckily for him, Olin has not attempted to expand anywhere. And you have to look at this and say for the Zerg, it is quite tough to secure a 4th base. Like, which direction are you going to go here? Okay, now these vessels coming in, still trying to get more value. I believe they irradiate one of those lurkers. Yes, under the Overlord. Nice. I don't know how he managed to do that under Dark Storm as well. That's difficult to click sometimes. But look at this. This drone sneaking up here now with absolutely no protection. I feel like Doodle Doodle needs to just like send Marines to every base because he's got so many just chilling at home. On the one hand, it kind of doesn't matter how much bio you have here because you can never break through the Dark Storm, but on the other hand, if he has so much, you might as well spread it around the whole map and just deny everything. Because if Zerg gets set up with Defilers and Lurkers at that 9 o'clock, then Terran's going to have a hell of a time. Oh, Vessel! Oh, that's unfortunate. And unnecessary.
Yeah, and actually, I like what All is doing. He's got a lot of money banked up, working towards Ultras, working on the armor upgrades. It sent out 6 links, just enough to cause chaos, goes to the 12 o'clock, confirms no 3rd base from the Terran. That's big knowledge to know, like, you're in a good spot here. But he's got the Hive Tech working, gonna start working towards Ultralists, and Doodle Doodle, like, he made a couple dropships. I think that's going to be the move. He doesn't feel comfortable trying to bust up the ramp traditionally, trying to fight his way through these Dark Swarms. Maybe he can get some kind of angle with these dropships, gets undone, but you can already see Scourge in position to help shut that down.
Yeah, he tried it once, and, you know, Olin was pretty ready for it. He did happen to see it. I don't know. I'm not so sure about this. I would like it if he built up, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 dropships and just go YOLO in the main more than trying to come in with 2 at this point in the game. Look, he's trying to bust the front.
Here's your YOLO.
Yeah, with no Dark Swarm. I mean, it's not efficient with those lurkers. He has so much bio. Okay, he does get a Dark Swarm down just in time. And he took out a Sunken, couple of lurkers. I mean, Doodle can afford to trade Marines for sure. But the problem is, like you say, his CP count's pretty low. Doesn't really look like it's 3rd on the horizon. And a big mistake here, he delayed the start of +3 for quite a while, actually. So that's really giving Zerg a good window where it's going to be +2. Oh, that's a huge play. At least he gets the Irradiate down for his trouble, but that is a huge play. It's going to do a lot of damage to those Marines, draining that energy from those medics way down. And now Zerg feels like he wants to try and move out. Or does he? I mean, I don't know. This natural still looks pretty weak. Oh, but Terran pulling back.
I mean, honestly, you have to pull back after that play. Like, your medic energy is going to get eaten alive even trying to survive this. Ooh, can he Scourge find one of these vessels? That would be a nice little pick-off right here. But unfortunately, doesn't get it, but the Ultras are on the way. That armor upgrade does get completed. So I think the ground units are now at 2. So the upgrade's even, which makes these Ultras pretty robust. And that 4th base that Olin took up at the 10 o'clock, that managed to not get scouted, not get punched, but here come 2 dropships. They might luck into finding it.
Yeah, for sure. Although, honestly, I feel like it's... Oh, investment did go down there, by the way. It doesn't even feel that good as Terran to find it like this, because you kind of want to just drop an existing base, and you realize you could have just moved your army over here the whole time, so this base has kind of just spotted your dropships, but I guess it is good that he found it. If it was hidden forever, it would have looked pretty bad. So he's going to take that out. But the forces on the ground looking very thin right now for the Ultra move out that's inevitably coming out. Ultra speed not done here. Makes his Ultras kind of bad. Well, we'll see what it can accomplish. Like you say, with equal upgrades, it's not bad, but nice D-Matrix. He's going to crush that single Ultra very easily and irradiates that Defiler. So honestly, he's not doing a good job keeping the vessels alive, but he is doing a good job at quickly casting those irradiates. Anything that even comes in range, it just instantly gets irradiated. Okay, he's not dropping this base, though. Oh god, do not drop that base.
Oh, there was another good play in this army that's threatening outside of natural. Oh, skirts the dropships. Oh no, those dropships go down to the fourth, so that's a big loss again.
Yeah, huge.
Gay Pig just taking these like hits he doesn't need to be taking here. And we're seeing a lot of Ling Ultra being made. That Ultra speed upgrade about to finish as well. This could be the opportunity to go engage that once you're fast enough where this army's gonna have trouble like actually getting out of the way, and without this medic energy like really piled up, like there's an opportunity here.
Well, hang on.
J-Pick did make a third CC, but there's a couple lanes going to block it. They're going to see that. Here comes a big engage in the middle of the map.
Well, that's not enough bio for this many ultras. But at the same time, the Zerg didn't start +3 carapace. If Terry somehow hold out for his +3 attack, he left something of an advantage. But look at how big this Zerg army is. There's just nothing to defend this. At least he guns down the Scourge. Going to retreat to these reinforcements. I don't know if he can pull this off though. +3 is still too far away to help in this fight. Lurker's going to burrow on top of this bio as well. There's a Defiler running in to hug those Marines. Uses Plague. I would have said Darkstorm would be very good there, but nonetheless, this bio is just getting chewed up by this massive ultra force. It looks like Zerg's just going to roll on through here. I don't see what can possibly stop him. There's only one bunker here. Scourge coming in again as well. Will they get gunned down? Oh, no they don't.
I mean, they're trying their best here. I actually kind of like the Plague, though, because you can't run away from the Plague. It's going to do the damage as these Ultras are just so plentiful still moving forward here. And especially if you irradiate against your Plague units, you can lose everything so quickly. Allen's attack does succeed, and J-Pick got a tap out of this one. I think showing a little bit of the learning pains of the late game Terran play. Can be difficult to manage some of this stuff, but once he gets it, he's definitely gonna be formidable.
Well, for sure, his macro was nice, except like you say, he didn't keep making SCVs, and now you do want to cut it a certain amount when you're going 2 base bio, because you don't need that many to sustain your barracks production. But like you said, he couldn't really expand to a third, and he lost so much bio trying to be aggressive that ultimately the Ultra Ball was just too big. I mean, he would have been ahead on upgrades if he was able to hold out a little longer. If he just had like a huge, like, I don't know, almost 200 supply army, I think it would have been if he didn't lose all that stuff in dropships. Hanging out at the Zerg Natural, he probably would have been able to maintain that position. But yeah, I think Olin played very patiently, just waited for his ultras. Didn't need anything too fancy.
Yeah, well, I mean, Olin's like, he's been around in CPL for quite some time, but definitely just showing comfortable play. So I think everything looked pretty good there. You know what I'm actually like, I thought about like watching the 2 games, and it was kind of similar problems between the 2, where it's like, oh, that the work of production once you kind of got rolling, but the macro is good. You know what it reminds me of? Playing 2-base Protoss versus Zerg.
Ooh, yeah, it kind of is like that. I guess that's just how Zerg functions, that the other races kind of just take less bases and try and deny expansions. That's kind of just how it goes. So I've experienced when they tell you can't host the game when you're trying to create it. When you've already hosted it and Blizzard tells you can't host it, I don't know. I kind of feel like they're out to get me. Let me try that again.
It's all good. Just keep adding ones, man. We'll get there.
Alright, I went to 6 ones and that seems to be working. Yeah, I was already in the game and then it says, game name already taken. And I'm like, what?
Well, this is why you don't have a pile of 1s as your game name, man. Everyone does that. It's like, oh, 1 didn't work, 11 will work.
But I'd already hosted it. I'd already claimed it. Dude, you know for a fact that it's not that people actually are taking the name. You know that it's just broken anyway.
Yeah, I know it's BNet, man. It's all. I know it's BNet. Don't worry about that.
All right, in the top right, in the white, once again we have Doodle Doodle still looking for that win, and in the bottom left, in the black, we have Jedi 1, the Protoss. Going into TVP now, maybe Doodle Doodle will have more luck there. You gotta say he's the underdog now, he's the hero after losing 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, I do think so, but now we get to see the interesting part of the race switch. When you play against your old race, you know all the tricks you would never want to deal with that piss you off so much, and now you get to do it to them. You get to know, like, oh, the Protoss here, this, if I were to come, this is where the angle we come from. You got all that in-depth knowledge of both sides of the matchup. So unlike the Zerg, where it's a totally new learning experience, I'm expecting a lot more from J-Pick in this game, and I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, I think it's basically you just build vultures and you're like, yep, that's what used to piss me off, and then you're done.
Yeah, if I ever switch to Terran, the first game I play against Protoss, I'm vulture dropping the crap out of them. Like,
nice.
It's just the most obnoxious thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, drop's not that favoured on this map, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see if Doodle Doodle has that SimCity, though, that's for sure. It'll be a test, because, Nebulheim's eyes are always watching for that.
I feel like it's less of a test, though, on this map. Because of the distance to get your Zealot there, I feel like a lot of people forgo the Zealot. Even though it is a 2-player map, you know where things are going. I feel like it does happen a lot.
But you said it, it's a 2-player map, so if Protoss wants to get a Zealot closer to your base, they certainly can. And it's not uncommon, either gates in your base or just on the map, on this map. But we see that Jedi 1 not going to go for that. Now, Jedi 1, I should mention, is really one of the top-tier Protoss in CPL, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, I assume he qualified for Tier 0. I assume he's still allowed to play in the league, but he's definitely been one of the higher-up Protosses since last season, I would say.
Yeah, definitely up there. And another person that's been in CPL for a while, kind of worked to skill up, got everything going the way they want to. And Gateway's about to finish up. Let's see, it is going to be that first Zell with the opportunity to punch here. Seems like that's not going to be the choice here. Instead, going for the Cyber Core, just wants to get that tech going as soon as possible. And I need the official Nibelheim critique. How was the Sim City if it happened?
It's not good. Because this depot above the barracks is tight. The Marine can't go there. So he could have had another gap here, and he didn't put the depot in the SUV boost spot either. So, okay, looks like he's aware. He's going to move this barracks to a better position. Oh, is he making the box? Yes. Okay, now it's like 11 out of 10. Because he has 2 gaps here that he can run back and forth between. Although
okay. Well, I mean, as long as there's an opportunity for it, but
the thing is,
if you're under pressure, do you want to lift your barracks?
Hell no. I was about to say, if Protoss is proxying and you lift your barracks, you're going to die because he's just going to put that probe under there and dance it around, and zealots will come into your base. You still won't have landed your barracks, and you'll just be crying. So that is very dangerous. But he got away with it, so he's fixed his SimCity. All looks well. But like you say, not even a zealot is coming out anyway. So this is just the academic side of StarCraft, I guess. But what if a zealot was there?
Yeah, I mean, we can live in a land of what ifs. What if it was proxy 99 gates at the 12 o'clock?
What if there was a battle cruiser in the Protoss base right now? You never know.
Well, I think you have to claim your CPL victory because you can't get it that fast, even if you rush it as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah. Alright, well, he's going to throw in the Nexus. A nice little harass by the SCV, honestly, denying that. And he didn't see the Nexus, but do you think he wants to believe that that probe is going to build it? Like, that probe, for a fake out, it was awfully committed, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can kind of infer that a little bit. Now, we are seeing a couple of SVs move down, looking like it is going to be that fast CC as well from Gatepick. But Jedi 1, a little like, you know how I always say, like, oh, the opening from Pro side's matchup is dead same all the time? The Nexus was before range, and then the second Gateway was before range. So really going to have a little more unit count, a little more beef to this, at the cost of not having the range as fast as you would want. But with your opponent opening this fast CC, you're not under threat from a push before you'd have it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out well because he's actually cutting the tank here for a little bit, and he only made 2 Marines, so he's not going to have that much push-out potential at all, for sure. Now, we'll see what he goes for here. The thing is, if Terran throws down a second factory here, they can move out quickly with 3 tanks. I feel like they could. Is he attacking that bunker? I thought he was repairing it, but that is not repairing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Wait, that one's going to repair it, right? No, it's going to build an eBay. Okay, now he's going to repair it. That SCV and that bunker are in an abusive relationship right now.
Well, again, a little bit of that Protoss true blood's like, no, bunkers die. Wait a second. That's not true anymore. That's not true anymore.
Okay, so we do see Terrans going for a siege run eBay here, looking like they're going to play it safe. Are we going to see another 2-base push? You know, I've seen Terrans on this map repeatedly go for these 2-base pushes. I don't think we've cast a team of when Terran tries anything else. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have we seen a 2-fac here? Maybe we have, but I doubt that worked.
We've seen a 2-fac, but it wasn't very committed. Remember, like the push, like it got fumbled a little early. They just tried to transition out of it. So it tends to be this kind of 2-base push.
But what did they transition into? Exactly, a 2-base push. But I really don't think they've been working out. I think Terran's need a new plan on this map. I don't think it's going to work. It's too tough with these ramps.
Well, it's like the ramps like slow down the push. It makes things hard, especially if you're being diligent with your recruits. But even ignoring like that kind of stuff from the Terran side, this map's so good for 3-base armor. It's so good that you can get your bases up. They're all gas. Everything's feeling safe. And in that the main is so big. It's so huge. Like you get a lot of room for gateways. You get a lot of room to recall if you're trying to go for it. I feel like that's kind of the way you'd want to go as for us. And like you would want a little more muscle. Like if you do the 2-base push and it doesn't work out, it feels like Protoss kind of runs it with a lot of the games.
Is Jedi going to double expand here? He's sending a probe to the bottom right. Oh, it's just hiding, I guess. It's kind of interesting. By the way, Doodle going for an armory, so maybe he's our man to do something different here. Maybe he's not going to go for the 2-base push. He's just going to get his upgrades and then expand. I can only hope.
Yeah, I mean, we'll end up saying here. We're getting a question in the chat about what rank the players are. This level of play, I'm not sure about the ranks, but like the MMR is probably around like 1700-ish.
I would say higher than that. I would say like 1800 to 2000 for these 2 players in particular.
Okay, then yeah, pretty high up there. You're right, because I think Jedi 1's maybe pulling assistant coach this season.
There you go. Sure. And Gapic definitely high B rank. I know that. So Yeah, I'd say about 1800 plus for these players today. Now, Tier 0 I would say extends down to about 1700, but these particular players I would say are almost certainly above 1800.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to remember some of the MMR ranges, but this is definitely the best you're going to see from CPL that actually play in CPL after a certain point. Like, we're just not going to allow this kind of stuff in anymore. The other one, looking for an opportunity. Can he sneak his observer in there? And I think there's enough of a gap here. If you wanted to like really
I don't think there is.
It's not going to leave, but I think maybe you could try to make it happen.
No, if you go through the gap, you get hit by 2 turrets. Whereas if you go on the top, I think you can get past on the top here. Yeah. If you go between the 2 turrets, they both hit you and you die. Now, going up to 4 factories yet, I'm still hopeful that he's going to throw out a CC after the 4th factory. Don't do it, man. Many other Terrans have tried. Oh, the observer going in the top.
Yep, okay, barely gets in, so it's going to get an idea of the factory count. And if it goes down a little bit further, it sees the armory timing as well. An academy on the way. Like,
no.
This Jedi One has all the info you want to get right now.
He built a 5th factory. No, man. Why? Why you got to do it? So Terran will be trying to come across the map here, I expect. I suppose you could be going 5 factories then a 3rd, but that's going to be getting pretty late here. And we see Protoss taking up not too fast. He's already got the Stargate going down, but he does not have Templar tech. So where is the Stargate? Also in the corner.
He doesn't have a Citadel.
Exactly. So we're looking at carriers here. Now, a 2-base push can be strong against carriers, but the problem is I feel like it's already kind of taken too long getting the Armory and Academy first. The Terran's not really going to be able to punish. Now, if Scan's going down here, he does not see the carriers because they're hidden in the corner. At the same time, though, you're not seeing a Citadel. You're probably wondering, when he gets his next energy, he's probably just going to be scanning again, figuring out what's going on. He still does the scout at this 3rd, so he doesn't really know. No vultures on the map either. Not a single vulture is made. But he's already making Goliaths in range, so just from that scan alone, does he know? How?
Well, I remember that Protoss intuition. He's going to know what he's looking for, and he doesn't see a Citadel or Templar archives anywhere.
But see,
Stargate,
that's where he's wrong.
Pieces.
Because Jedi 1 has the plan. He's actually making a Corsair. All plans.
Dear. He's gonna meme him. He's memeing him with D-Web. Was this the Protoss help discussion? He's like, is this like the test game in preseason? Come on, Jedi 1, you're better than this.
Maybe Jedi 1 was like asking Doodle Doodle, so can I go D-Web? Is that a thing? Doodle Doodle's like, wow, you're so dumb. Why'd you even say that? And I was like, alright, I'm getting my revenge. I don't know the backstory here. By the way, is this top versus bottom? Oh, it is, thank God. Alright, we're changing to red to red and blue because I didn't realize black was so bad on the minimap here. So now Jedi 1 in the blue and Doodle Doodle in the red. But I mean, this push is coming out pretty quickly. I don't think there's any way he's going to have D-Web in time. I mean, how quickly does it research? But let alone that, he's going to have like 2 Corsairs, and how much energy are they really going to have?
I mean, you're going to have a decent amount of them, and realistically, okay, we're going to be Reddit analysts right now, just for a second, as this slow push starts happening from Gaping. If you get the D-Web, and it's tanks and they're sieged and they're clumped, that could be devastating to the push. It definitely slows things down, but it should give you the handle you need to move forward. But saying that, like, nah. Like, just
imagine instead if you just got an Arbiter, how much that can do for you.
Yeah, Stasis also shuts down tanks from doing anything.
Even just an Arbiter is very strong against these 2-base pushes because of the cloak alone is very difficult for him to deal with. Now, he lost that floating eBay, didn't he? That's a bit unfortunate because he really wants to build turrets when he gets across the map. But this is a lot of stuff. And, like, I mean, these goons going to try and be as efficient as they can. Nice army movement there, really delaying the Terran. This is what we didn't see, I think, in those other games, was it yesterday? So this is if you want to learn how to delay a 2-base push, watch what Jedi 1's doing with his goons here. He's engaging vultures, avoiding engaging the tanks. Now, this is a lot of vultures, so he's taking damage. But I think it's worth the damage he's taking to buy this much time. And look at this, he's going to hold the ramp here, do a bit more damage to the vultures, wait for the tanks to catch up. And wait for it.
Realistically, these vultures and Goliaths, that's what's enabling this push to keep going forward. If it goes down to just tanks, it's very risky to kind of run up here. You don't know what you're going to be dealing with. Mines are just being researched now.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so a little maybe forgot, maybe choosing things in the wrong order, not having the mines.
Here we go. Here come the Corsairs. Oh, do they even have enough energy? I guess they do. It's only 125, right? There goes one. Oh my gosh. Is there going to be another one? I don't think there's energy on any others. How long does it really last for, though? I mean, I guess it lasts long enough. But, I mean, Terran still has quite a lot here. If Mines was finished when he arrived, honestly, he'd probably have an unbeatable position right now. But unfortunately, with no Mines down, it's a bit more difficult. These anti-carrier Goliaths, I guess they're actually for shuttles at the end of the day. Kind of bullying these Corsairs away. Yeah, he knew what he was up against, and look how spread his tanks are now. Protoss, very cool, but I think he's really missed his opportunity to do much with this D-Web, and it's becoming very tough now that these mines are starting to go down. Although, Doodle Doodle not diligently laying them, maybe, like you're saying, this is kind of showing that he's off-racing here. There you go, he's starting to lay them, but mines are very, very efficient use of your APM generally, because the more mines you lay, the higher your chance of victory. But now look at this, he's getting set up with depots, even turrets. This is getting harder and harder for Pro to break through. Like I said, there is no Citadel, so he cannot make speed zealots. We don't see a shuttle in production. He's really just going to rely on this D-Web, but I don't know, Terran aware of it is spreading pretty well. I guess these tanks at the third are vulnerable, but it's not like there's many units over there to challenge them.
Yeah, I'm actually just a little bit confused though, because I feel like there's pieces of this that could have gone a lot better. Jedi One floating a lot of money at this point, has a great worker count, and all the vultures got to get to that 9 o'clock base. They're going to start wreaking havoc. There's no defense here available. D-Web's not going to be enough to do anything here. These vultures are going to do so much damage. But with going Corsairs like this, they're cheap, right? Why aren't you adding more gateways? Like, I feel like you could have had more like actual production behind this if you're going to do something like this. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out though. Massive damage over the 9 o'clock. Dual in a great position outside the natural. They're not taking that third base though behind this. They're really leaning into the attack. That I'm always a little leery of, because you know things can go awry.
Well, I think as long as Terran is able to secure this natural, that'll be fine. He can take it a bit later. The SCV is moving out now as well. Honestly, Terran on 2 base can accomplish a lot, so I think he's doing just fine, and I think this third base is going to fall. There's no way for us to reinforce here. There's Goons still roaming on the map, but I'm not sure what Jedi One has left here. Like you say, yeah, definitely he is banking a lot here. I know it costs gas to get that fleet beacon and that D-Web and everything, but surely he could have afforded a Citadel and gotten Zealots at some point. Because look at these slow Zealots. They're just very sad here. No shuttle to back them up or anything. There's not even many vultures here.
This whole build screams winging it. That's what I'm reading from Jedi One. This whole thing screams GG. I didn't practice this build. So Jedi One, I'm sorry if that ends up not being the case. But you know what isn't winging it? NGZ3 dropped a Prime subscription for us. Thank you for supporting the channel, brother. We always appreciate people showing their support, whether it's just following the channel, spreading the word. There's a subscribe for the channel itself, or the Ko-fi link if you want to just support us a little bit directly. We always appreciate everything. A lot of work goes on behind the scenes, so anything helps, and we always appreciate it. So well, thank you very much.
He chose a good time, because guess whose game is up next?
Is it his game?
Yes.
I'm confused.
We can claim CPL isn't corrupt, but yeah, he prime subs, his game gets casted. I don't know, is it a coincidence? Who knows? To find out, just send money to my account.
Oh god, no, we already have Snipe with the Benjamins. We don't need you in your Australian fun bucks? I don't even know what you call it.
Fun bucks? Well, I talked about this before. I was trying to figure out, like, you know, what person I'd use. But we'll get to that in a minute. So in the top right, in the red, we have Ganty, and in the bottom left, in the blue, it's Luka Doncic, I guess, aka NGX. NGZ, rather. Sorry, NCX.
So I think that's supposed to be Luka Doncic, the NBA player, but it's spelled wrong.
Ah, okay.
I believe that's spelled wrong. I'm not sure. I don't actually follow a whole lot of NBA, so
maybe it's intentional, like it's spelled that way on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Honestly, he's a very exciting player, so maybe we're going to see that as well. Very exciting Zerg play in this matchup. Finally, no Terrans floating around. We get some more ZVP action. Always love watching this matchup and how people approach it. It can be very polarizing, and I feel like there's a lot of style from both sides that you can see.
Oh, by the way, I figured out the Australian money. It was like Elizabeth's or something, because on the $5 note they have the Queen. So what do you think? Like Lizzie's best? What's the best thing? Queens?
No, I'm going fun bucks, man.
Fun bucks.
Okay, well let's we got a little time before things ramp up. Answer me this: is your money colorful?
Yes.
Could you use it for a board game, possibly?
You could use American money for a board game. I don't see your point.
Well, no, because that wouldn't be very decisive. You'd have to read. There's no color because it's all the same color.
Okay, it's because Americans can't read. I see.
Yes, absolutely true.
Yeah, but look,
we can make our own jokes.
Say like 10 meters away, there's some money on the ground. If it's American money, you don't know what denomination it is. If it's Australian money, you look at the color, you're like, oh, look, there's some $50 notes or something. By the way, this program is over here.
But if there's money on the ground, America will stab you for anything.
This is the best build. I just realized. I was distracted talking about money. Meanwhile, my man over here, NGZ, is showing us the best build in the game, the 9-pull speed. That probe is going to try and do something, but there's nothing it can do against this. We do see a forge going down already, though, so it wasn't a Nexus first or anything. Let's see what kind of punishment down here.
But is the pylon 1 hex lower, not as high as it could be, so getting that really good wall is going to be hard. I like this, though. 2 cannons realizing the danger was happening, not even going to risk shenanigans, going for the extra safety, going to slow everything down. But if this investment in the 9-pull speed can't get in, Like, that could be trouble, but trust me, I have enough games of experience. 2 cannons does not make you safe here. You still have to block the ramp. You still have to pay attention. This is not set and forget zone just yet.
Well, he did only make 6 slings and went back into drones. So can 6 slings run past 2 cannons? Say if nothing is blocking at all, they can just ignore it and run into the main?
With speed, yeah, I wouldn't want to do it without the speed. You're probably going to get like 2'd in, which then if you got that stick micro, 2 speedlings in the main could absolutely do trouble. Look at this pro block though. Oh, they're fighting to the death. Which worker's going to end up winning? They do break it off, so that's usually trouble for the drone. Can he get in there? Here come the links going forward, taking so much damage from his cans. 3 links already going down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the threat of that kind of getting mitigated. The hatchery goes down, but really this whole thing from Zerg, an opportunity for aggression, but just can't get it done.
Well, I think the indecision there, going with the links, then pulling back up to 3 died, he accomplished absolutely nothing. Like I say, maybe if he waits for speed, he can run in there, and look at that. Oh no, I did it again. I thought it was fixed. I didn't even think he was.
Too.
In my defense, he was attacking the egg. Guys, I selected the lurker egg, so the game crashed. Sorry, we're just gonna relaunch that real quick. He was attacking the egg. I had to see how much HP it had, right? You can't blame me this time. But damn, I thought we fixed it. Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was the fix. I mean, honestly, maybe like before we were hosting games, no problem, didn't have the names issue. So you know, maybe we're getting some BNet trolling a little bit. But
Blizzard is just trolling us at this point.
Yeah. So in case anyone's unaware that's watching, if you're watching a replay and you click some of these neutral doodads, notably the neutral lurker eggs on this map, you game crashes. Yeah. There was a fix that was working at least for a little while. If you played with the Asia BNet setting, that kind of mitigated it for some reason.
But now,
but we're going to be in trouble. We're going to have to redo it. And if you do it again, man, I'm putting up the prediction.
I guess this is just Blizzard's way of saying that, you know, only Koreans deserve the game or something. By the way, it's just 3-1s now if you want to join up.
Yeah.
If you manage to escape the drop screen yet.
Well, I got out just now, but if it's like you have 6 ones and I still search for 3, it still comes up.
That's true, actually, isn't it? But what if I go down to 2 ones?
Well, then you're being a jerk right now. We were at 317 at the crash.
All right, 317. Best I can do is 316. All right, there we go. Well, so let me just.
Yeah, that seems good. Your curiosity, I would say, don't look. A probe's not killing that egg.
But like, what if it does? Okay, fine. I'll try not to click it. I have to try very hard. Okay, so let's look at this other probe.
I'll put up the prediction, man. Don't make me. Pylon blocking the 3rd. That's really obnoxious, and honestly, I don't like that when lanes are already made. But like this, just kind of being a little bit annoying for the pros. Love this little troll style a little bit, but like your cybercore is not started. Like,
ooh, yeah. I mean, I want to say it's worth it. I want to say it's worth it though, given that Zerg's economy is not great either. I feel like it's not bad. Oh, where'd that pro go? But the reason I selected the lurker is I wanted to point out it's actually a pretty high level move is attacking a nearby building, or an egg in this case with the pro, so that your pro doesn't get baited. If it's not on hold position with another unit, which he doesn't even have, it will actually run if it gets attacked. So, yes.
All right, that is a little high-low move, but I think it was attacking it from the right side, not below.
Nonetheless, it was keeping itself there, right? It was maintaining its position is very important. But the Lynx didn't even try and get in. So.
This is fantastic, though. Look at this probe. Managed to sneak to the main, very unaware. So whenever you want to roll through and check, is there a lair started? Where's the Hydra den? Try to get some of this knowledge. The fact that this thing is just sitting there chilling with no big issues, you're going to be able to get that scouting info right when you need it. And there's a 4th hatchery on the way, and there's that Hydra den. We're not going to see lair for a bit, but we might see some real Hydra pressure.
I am intrigued by this
probe's coming in. Look at this probe.
Oh, nice. Nice. Now, is he going to think it's a 3-hatch Hydra when he sees this, or is he just going to go into natural and see this 4th hatch? He's going to go see it.
I think he's going to leave. He's going to see it. But really, what you see here is when you see the Hydra den in this building, you don't see the lair. He's skipping Stargate. He's going straight for Citadel. He's
if only there was some succinct, memorable way for new Protossers to know this, Saint Zero. Can you imagine what format we could possibly use to communicate this to our budding CPL players?
A nice asymmetrical limerick?
No, a rhyme. Den before lair, Protoss beware, is how it goes.
Well, sure, but so how do, like as far as this goes though, you don't always get this great scouting info, but Yeah, like, it's not that Stargate's completely like invalid against this kind of thing either. Like, there's definitely like you could get some use out of it if you're, especially if you got good Corsair control. But being able to get straight into that Citadel, get your Zealot speed if you want it, rush to Storm before any of this aggression really happens. And I like this little move out. 3 Zealots manage to get all the way to the side. Gonna force some units instead of drones right now when Luca really wants to be kind of like making sure he's got the economy to sustain this attack on 4 hatcheries. Zealots are going to get in there, lots of links to reinforce. +1 weapon's not finished yet, so these Zealots not going to be as effective as they want. So unfortunately not getting as much done, but at least forces units to be made.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Now, I am intrigued by this powering style of the 4-hatch, well, hatchery, I guess, not lair, right? Because it's not exactly the most orthodox strategy. Pros never do this kind of thing. Oh, more Zealots going to clear it natural, by the way. But that's not to say it's bad at all. I think it's a legit way to play. It's just getting kind of more Hydras and then powering up, maybe taking up later, or putting pressure on the Protoss. Now, like you're saying, with a Citadel build here, Templar takes in a bit faster, Overlord speed cannot exist, so DTs will potentially hold the Zerg back here. Well, Ling's coming in here though. Probe going to block just in time, or is it? Oh my god, is he going to do it? Oh, he's not going to pull the trigger. Unfortunate, because he definitely could have got it and done a lot of damage there.
Yeah, it definitely was a dangerous spot, but look at these Zealots across the left. They have their speed now. They're going to be able to move forward. They're going to catch some of these Zerglings in the middle of the map. +1 weapon's about to finish, but doesn't have it just yet. Here comes the links to retreat, trying to get that to round, but that +1 finishes before, like, this could turn out really bad. Luke could be taking a fight he doesn't want to take. Moving towards that 9 o'clock base. There's only a Sunken here, and a hatchery going down as well, so we'll see if this is going to be enough muscle to kind of get through. +1 finishes, and fighting on the ramp, this is as good as these Zealots are going to get it.
Well, that Hydra, though, will eventually evict them. Oh no, the drones! This is interesting, because Zerg had so many more hatcheries earlier, he was able to make a lot more links. It's not really like he's losing that many more drones if he's got so many lava. So, I mean, kind of trading these Zealots, not terribly. I wouldn't say it's like he's losing too much here, but he's not really accomplishing that much even. Now, this one slow Overlord does see the DTs leaving out on the map. I don't know if NGZ was paying attention there and actually saw it, but I have to assume he did. And honestly, it looks like everything's locked down. There's an Overlord at the natural, a little bit out of position. Oh my god, if that DT sneaks in. Like I said, Overlord speed cannot exist, so huge damage could potentially go down.
Yeah, I mean, I like what we're seeing those DTs taking the wide path they can. They can shut down bases if something's happening. Maybe they sneak through some of this stuff, force some units to come back and defend if this attack keeps moving forward. But the more I'm watching this Zerg style, can't say I like it. I feel like it lacks the speed where the punch of a 3-hatch Hydra really get the job done. But the tech is so delayed. You can see Storm's already on the way, and we don't even have a lair starting.
I don't know. Compare it to a normal Citadel opening, where Protoss would kind of build up and come out with a whole bunch of speed lots, and Zerg would be scrambling to defend. In this case, it was kind of like, well, he had units, and he's kind of traded them with Zealots, no big deal. Now, of course, he has a slightly less drones, slightly less tech, but he's kind of safer, I suppose. I don't know, I guess deep down I'm a fan of it. That's what's happening here. I just like this style, this 4-hatch before lair.
Well, look at this distraction. The Zealots poking in and out, the natural, as the DTs go into the third and the natural. So trying to get something done to DT at the third doesn't get shut down. The other one just turns right around, can't really get it done. These Hydras going to start chipping away up at the front wall here. They can stop that Forge upgrade. That'd actually be pretty big. Storm is done. There's been Templars building up some energy behind this. So I think you got to be very precarious about how you keep going forward. Let's see if those first 2 storms are really good.
Oh, nice.
First one is okay. First one's
I like that he baited Zerg to move back the top units, then storm the bottom ones. That was actually quite nice. And then these Zealots are like, you know what, we can take him. And they're going to move right out here. But yeah, that DT that died at the 9 o'clock, it was funny how it kind of spite killed the drone as it died.
Oh, the DT in the middle of the map, the reinforcements.
Can it catch another Hydra? I mean, every Hydra you kill is good value. Doing its damage.
Yeah, any damage you can do here, but just the Overlord rage missed.
Unfortunate. Okay, these Zealots going to try and take the fight though. +1 armor is not complete, but Zerg have no upgrades yet either. I don't know. I think that's a lot of Hydras, and he can back up to these Sunkers. I don't know if this is going to work out for the Protoss. Yeah, he does retreat here.
Yeah, but I mean, really, like, you look at this. I think actually Protoss is respecting a little more than he even has to, because he just finished his robo. Like, he's going to be probably working towards observers, and as I say that, it's actually a shuttle. It's Reavers. I was hoping we were going to see Reavers. When you see someone just going this hard, the tech's delayed, it's all Hydras all day long. Reavers are so potent here, especially if you can layer a little bit. But Aspire on the way, so finally the tech's going to start moving forward here. See if this ends up being in time to affect anything. I don't know if you're really going to be able to get it to work, but Still, this Pro Army very scary. Everything has been building up to 2-base aggression. All these upgrades working through. That shuttle is about to finish up. Ooh, this could be really fun.
Yeah, I think DT drop or a Storm drop would definitely do a lot. But both DTs died, right? So he'd have to remake more if he wanted to drop those. Just zoning for now.
I think it's Storm Drop though. It's always Storm Drop. They kill drones so quickly. It's the best harass in the game.
But he doesn't have shuttle speed. It's kind of more effective with that because the DTs can kind of drop in slowly. Oh, speaking of Templars though, they're just getting picked off for free. Not casting the Storm thing. That one cast the Storm before it dies. First one, a bit sloppy by Protoss there, even though it was under attack. Did not cast that out. Now these Hydras, oh, well, they're still trying to be aggressive. As you can see, Zerg able to produce a very high number thanks to his good economy right now. His drone count is a little low actually based on what it was before. I think he needs a few more, but nonetheless he has a formidable army to hold Protoss back. Protoss just trying to build up that complicated, like, you know, multi-unit type army, whereas Zerg's just like, okay, I've got Hydras, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more Hydras. Actually, or is he though? That's an interesting choice. 14 Mutalisks morphing right now. Oh dear. Oh dear.
And this could be very, very dangerous. Storms are useful. You can see start to add Dragoons on behind this, and there is the Archon there. So it's not like you have no anti-muta tech, but if these mutas run to the main, you can see there's just not enough chaos to defend this. Storms can keep getting baited out by these Hydras, so you could fight straight up, or you could probably go into the main and really start tearing apart the Protoss. The choice to go mass muta here, it's gonna go unscouted here. While Nexus is going down at the lower right base, I don't think you're really looking. I think you just think your opponent's like going core ground units. This could be really, really dangerous for the Protoss.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, he deliberately picked off so many Templars, so there's not that much to fight these mutas. Now, there is a good number of goons, plus an Archon to back them up. Oh my god, this shuttle. This shuttle is the unluckiest unit. Or perhaps the luckiest. Okay, somehow the shuttle slips past. The Templar getting a good storm down these Mutalisks, and they get repulsed by now by the Archon and the Goons, actually. A lot of damage going down them, so not a great start for those. But they're still alive. Well, not all alive. Some of them are still alive to try and pick off these Templars here. They continue to cruise around, finding a random Zealot. But this shuttle, it's not even Templars, it's 4 Zealots. You know, I like this. I think this is an underutilized move. Just drop 4 Zealots in the main, start hitting tech structures. I mean, Zealots are tanky. Unless you have units there already, it's hard to kill them in time before they start doing damage. And here we go. Okay, he's actually going to drop them in the natural. Drops 1 in the natural, start hitting those... Well, okay. I understand this right. If he drops in the main, but now look what's happening. You know, the natural's always going to be able to defend. But anyway, a fight's going to go down here at the ramp on the Protoss side of the map. That Archon is very scary for these mutas, but that's a lot of Hydras backing up as well. How many Storms are really available here? The mutas demanding the respect of the Templars, and they do kill them as well.
That's a big Storm, though, on how...
Oh, the Archon! No, it gets taken out. But all these mutas are so low. They're dropping like flies, and the Hydras are not enough. The Zealots tearing them apart. GG. Great engage by Gandhi there.
Yeah, honestly, I thought Zerg might have broken through there. It was definitely looking pretty close, but yeah, like with the Archon already made, the upgrades from Protoss pretty good, and that one Storm did so much damage.
We have an unexpected guest in the chat. Let me just wait. Am I not mod? No, I am mod. Why can't I ban him? He's invincible, guys. The robots, we can't stop them. Can you ban him?
Well, I'm looking.
Oh, okay, there we go. I got it. For some reason it wasn't coming up the first time, like I clicked them and I didn't have the mod options. It's alright, chat, you have been saved from the robot. The Terminators have been delayed.
We're not banning you, Rock. Oh man, classic guy from back in the CPL days. Nice to see you in the cast.
Are you in CPL 7, Rock? Maybe use a legit vendor. Yeah, well, too bad. We don't want people selling followers and viewers, even if you're a legit vendor. What does that even mean in that case? A legit vendor of followers and viewers? I don't know. So you're telling me there's people out there who are like, I just don't know what channel to follow. I'm going to pay you, sir, to tell me what to subscribe to.
Well, no, I think I can describe it. Well, let's introduce the players first.
Okay. In the top right, in the blue, we have Stanel. And in the bottom left, in the red, we have Ganty again. So Stanel, a very experienced CPL player, I'd say. I think, like we mentioned yesterday, he's really come up from the bottom, I feel like. You know, he used to be tier 3, didn't he? And now he's in tier 1/0. I'm not sure where he placed exactly. You know what? I'm going to go check right now, actually. I want to know. I feel like he might have been placed in tier 0.
Yeah, that is Stanel definitely looking good. In the bottom left, though, the red Protoss Gandy, right? I'm kind of like glossed over. I was reading something.
Yeah, so Stanel, an assistant coach now, by the way. But go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Tim story, it's the George story, it's the father story. If you learned from the CPL and got to that high level, you know how to teach because you knew how to learn. Like, you know it worked for you. So definitely helping out for something like that. And yeah, I do remember those days when Stanel was lower rated than me, and Man, that was nice. That was nice back in the day, but definitely no longer truth. This guy putting in so much work, easily like improving so quickly. But PvP, always a weird one. We'll see what we're seeing style-wise from these two. A lot of options on Eclipse.
So Stanley's scouting around a lot for a proxy, by the way. He's checked his own base already, and he's checking this Death Alley over here. He really doesn't want to, you know, get caught by surprise by proxy gates. Now, he didn't check that location in the center of the map. Obviously, there's no time to scout everything. He's just going to go ahead and scout his opponent's base. Now, it is a slight economic disadvantage since Gandhi wasn't actually doing anything, and he is setting that probe a bit earlier. But other than that, pretty even in this first game.
Yeah, the probe is going to get in here plenty in time with the opportunity to man a pylon if you want to do some shenanigans, but without the money built up, I'm expecting to not see that. Now, for Gandhi, though, looking like they're setting up for that 2-gate play instead of gate gas, so we're going to see the clash of styles. Classic, safe, get your tech up, versus that possibility to be aggressive with these 2 gateways, which usually still gets a later gas and goes to the tech anyway. It's just a different path to get there.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I feel about it on Eclipse, just because the rush distance is a bit longer. It's not a huge deal, but oh, interesting. Is that an anti-mana pylon that Gandhi built there in his main mineral line? Interesting. I'm just thinking that it's going to be slightly less effective than if they were closer on, say, like close positions Void, for example, because you do need to send the Zealots across some pressure if your opponent is going for gas here. Now, this probe really wants to kill a fellow probe. He just has a hatred for his own kind, but Stanley's probe is pushing back pretty easily. Now it's very low.
Well, you could see, though, even though like the distance is long, that first Zealot from Gandhi is moving across the map, this forced a reaction out of Stanley. He got a second gateway earlier than he wanted to. He's not mining gas yet. So you're throwing your opponent off their own game. And it's like, if this is what you want to do anyway, it's not like what we're seeing from Gandhi's bad. Like, the Zealots can't do anything. You just pull back. You have units for later. It's not like any of these choices are really bad, but it throws Stanley like a little bit of a curveball. And his probe's going to go back in and try to get some scouting info. Sees a couple more Zealots. And I don't know, like Gandhi is looking around, like see if he can find some kind of opportunity. With a probe near the 12 for Gandhi. Ooh, this could be a good opportunity if you want to do some real shenanigans. Here's the Zealot just walking into mains, getting all that scouting info you ever wanted. 2 of them,
oh no, that's a Stanley Zealot. Yeah, I mean, getting probes here is going to be well worth it. Doesn't get one there quite. Okay, still just causing disruption. The problem is now that Gandhi's in here, Stanley's not holding the ramp. But Gandhi didn't send his additional Zealots, actually staying home. About disrupting Stanley's build, I mean, I feel like it's Stanley's choice that you just run out of second game and start making Zealots of your own, because you can go straight for goons here, and you just have to have good micro and have a shield battery, and it's fine. It's just a bit harder, I suppose. So Stanley taking the safer option, I suppose. Just saying, okay, I feel like I can just take you toe to toe and best you. Now look at these probes here. Ooh,
get the kill. This is already worth it because. Like, look, the builds are very similar. The Cybercore timing is very similar. Both players building a lot of Zealots, but that's the worker lead for Gandhi. Definitely actually earned something. Stanley's build being adjusted in a way that's a little bit difficult. So, Gandhi's little move out here with this build, while he isn't doing really critical damage, is definitely something to start with. And a Robo going down, so you get that safe opening you want. If you want to get Reavers, you got them. You want Observers, you can get those too. So, Gandhi, we're respecting all the choices that could be happening. We'll see how Stanley wants to respond.
Yeah, no,
actually skipping goon range.
Problem here is that because he chose to go for his own Zealots, and Stanley wasn't really aware of what Gandhi was doing, Gandhi actually made less Zealots so far than Stanley, but Stanley did not move out immediately, so he's not going to be there in time to actually put any pressure on. If he just instantly was going across the map with his Zealots, he actually would have been the aggressor here and been able to harass probes. Now he's lost a probe of his own, lost a lot of mining time, and his tech is later, and he has 2 on gas, which I don't think he even realizes because of all the action with the Zealots, which is actually going to be an almost game-ending error in this matchup, just having 2 on your main gas. These Zealots.
Yeah, it could definitely be real bad. Once you start producing goons, you'll notice pretty quickly. But yeah, you definitely don't want to be stuck in that situation. But here come these first Zealots. But with 4 on the wall and 2 Dragoons to help, you're not gonna be able to break your way up that. Stanley gonna have to turn around. So all these Zealots that moved across, all this attempted an aggression. There wasn't a Nexus taken that could maybe put some pressure on. And now we're up to a 6 probe lead as Gandhi finishes the Robo, working on a shuttle. So maybe we're going to see some aggressive Reaver play as well. So really everything is going kind of Gandhi's way here. And Stanley's going to have to figure out what advantage they're going to try to gain. Because right now they're just a little bit behind in everything. But a third gateway, maybe the goons, when you get that range finished, that could be the way to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough though when your opponent has this narrow ramp to defend, and I don't think Gandhi has any aggressive intentions here. I expect he's just going to expand. Now, the gas has been corrected, of course, so Stanley's economy back on track, but as you say, quite behind in probes now. I mean, I feel like Stanley could potentially just throw down the Nexus here since he's not teching so much. But of course, he doesn't know it could be DT behind this. His Robo not even started, I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, you take the risk, like, on some of these kind of situations. But I think one of the things you could see that would be a plan, and add this little proxy pylon, spotter pylon for a shuttle to move out, but also would slow down the Nexus later in the game if it gets to that point. So, like in these little tiny things you can do in this matchup. And this probe even going to try to scout here. If he gets forward and sees the lack of a Nexus, that's actually really big info for Gandy.
Well, is he going to go for it? What was he looking for down there? I don't know, a shuttle passing by at that exact moment. So he does see no Nexus here. Like you say, very good intel. Observer sees Stanley's army in the field here and is going to kind of compel it to retreat because it doesn't want to get caught out. Scanning probe does die. But yeah, honestly, again, he seems really on top of things. Like I say, he's not intending to be overly aggressive here. He knows he doesn't really have to. He's holding his ramp still, and Stanley really not going to be able to get anything done here against all those zealots.
Yeah, add on the Robo now. I'm expecting that to be more for an observer than anything else. But if Stanley can hold on, because you can see start the Nexus first. So again, like Gandy is going to build a very robust army especially once these Reavers are kind of finished up. If you want to move out, I feel like you could have a lot of muscle to kind of force your opponent back. But he doesn't have that Dragoon range. It'll be really up to just the Reaver micro. It has to be very careful not to lose them. That could be the kind of swing that really turns the game in a hurry. With the first Reaver done, let's move towards shuttle. Let's see what Gandy does. At least if you secure your natural, take your own Nexus, things are looking pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, he would be up in tech, right? He was behind the corner.
Oh, this Reaver's so far forward.
Oh, kills it instantly. Wow, that is not a good start here for Gandy. And yeah, Stanley's content to retreat now. He knows the Nexus is up first. Much easier to hold this choke when you're not up against Reaver. I don't know what these goons are doing right now, but I guess they're finally getting down there. We see no observatory coming down because Stanley already knows Gandy went for Robo, so he's content not to get any detection just yet. But that means his opponent's observers have free reign, which is quite nice actually for Gandy. Okay, throwing down that Nexus now. I guess there's no real potential for aggression losing that Reaver like that. Honestly, Stanley's done a lot with just this very small army, really zoning his opponent out with a much smaller force. Now it's reinforced. It does look a bit scarier, but I still don't really think there's much potential for an attack to go down here. Let's see. There's another Reaver out as well. He's going to try it. The Reaver out of position. Gandy retreats.
That Dragoon range is finished, that both sides have it, but that Stanley has the slightly better count, has to deal with all the Zealots in the Reaver, so you just walk away at this point without any kind of speedier units. Like, you should be able to retreat pretty freely here. And Stanley should know they got that faster Nexus, everything looking really comfortable for them. So they're catching up with that worker count that was a deficit before, adding on some more gateways, so everything kind of going the way they want to. And he's got the Observer to see all of it, but that's not really what you want to see right now. It's like, I'm behind. Like,
yeah, that's right. You're glad you see it. Like, oh, okay. Well, it's like when like you're about to leave a game and you find a hidden base. You're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, you're on the fence. Like, oh, it was never that good. Now Gandy has the two Reavers in the shuttle. Gonna start pushing forward. Stanley has control of the high ground. And a nice concave
gets
goes forward.
both Reavers in the shuttle. Wow, just like that. That's all it takes. You got to be careful with that thing. Like you said, the high ground instrumental there because you didn't see the goons until they already killed him.
Yeah, I mean, I will at least say, for everything happening to Gandy, because remember, that's now 3 Reavers and a shuttle that got killed off for basically free, the supply is still even. And there isn't like a massive tech advantage one side or the other here. Stanley's starting to work on their own shuttles and Reavers, but you can see like the Nexus got up, the worker count is still like pretty close. I don't think either side got a big advantage. Stanley got some big kills over there, but realistically, like, this isn't as good for Stanley as you think it would be after getting all those kills.
Well, remember he was 6 bros behind earlier in the game, so he's done a very good job coming back. Very tenacious control of his army here, just putting on as much pressure as he can, but retreating when he needs to. I'm very impressed by Stanley's kind of army movement. Now I'm starting to doubt the slow Reaver going across the map. We'll see how that goes. Shuttle's going to come and catch it soon enough. But imagine if Gandy had just continued to move across after he lost those Reavers. Suddenly this slow Reaver just kind of like, oh, I guess I'm dead now.
Or does it help you win the fight because it meets you in the field?
Maybe. But it looks like Stanley might actually be gearing up for an attack, or at the very least he's going to maintain and contain his opponent's position here. And I really like that he's getting out there. He's not giving up any space. And like we saw, that ramp was so helpful. So I think it's profited Stanley a lot that he's not afraid to just get out there with his army. He knows he can just retreat if he gets engaged by a larger force. And now he has a great concave here. Looks like he's going to go for the attack. I'm not sure how I feel about this. With a Reaver ready to defend. No shuttle for it though. Stanley continuing to put on the pressure. He has a huge goon count here. Where's the Reaver?
He's got a Reaver. He's dropping right there. Up at the front. Has to be careful, but if he's paying attention, the Reaver taking big damage, gets taken down before it gets picked up, but there's still a lot of Dragoons for Stanley. the fight going a little bit hard from each side. That concave doing so much work. And we see that Reaver from Gandy going to be able to push this back. Big losses from Stanel here. Tries to be aggressive, has to retreat, but he retreats to high ground, so it's not like Gandy could really push it all the way across, as both sides just keep backering back at home, trying to build up their stack and everything. I know Citadel's got finished on both sides. Zell like started for Gandy, and still Reaver production, so we're kind of locked in that middle tier. No one wants to take that first step to go towards Templar. But now Gandy's got a little bit of supply lead, a little bit of a worker lead. Maybe he can eke some things out because he's got more gateways worth of production as well. Actually, no, it's even now, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, we see this sometimes in CPL, these PvPs, like, you just get stuck on these Reavers, Storms just never appear, but honestly, Gandy's going to have the advantage then if he can tech up. Now, Zealot Speed is a great upgrade, don't get me wrong, but if your opponent's still just making Reavers, it's not as helpful. I think Storms is the key upgrade here. Zealot Leg's kind of just the bonus when Reavers are out. Because if there's no Reavers on the map, Speed Zealots become extremely scary, but honestly, Reavers crush them. Now, is this going to be a base from Gandy? Or is he just building another spotter pile or looking for a hidden base?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Both sides moving probes down at the bottom right. Shenanigans are happening now. Someone trying to figure out how to take the next step, and it's really risky trying to take that third base while a lot of tech's going on, because you see both sides adding on forges behind this. Templar Archive's about to finish for Gandy, as well as that Zealot Leg, so we're seeing a lot of things happening. Reaver's kind of slow crawling towards that 3 o'clock base, so maybe Gandy wants to take the 9 o'clock set up, and they're going to sneak a Nexus in the bottom right, but one probe going to see that. You got to cancel that. Yeah,
he sees it like within a few seconds of it starting, which is very embarrassing. But I guess...
And he takes by one, like, oh, that's funny.
I'm not sure why he was intent on starting Kingdom 1 to begin with. He might as well have just started the 9 o'clock if he was already committing these Reavers over here. I really wish they had a shuttle, though. It makes me a bit nervous seeing them without a shuttle. I mean, Stanel has to have a big army here, just not the tech, right? How many Reavers does he have? He just has one, and his Zealot Legs was later, but I mean, that window is closing, so Gandy's advantage might be evaporating here. Stanel with the superior probe count, but with only 2 Nexus. Looks like he is going to build his own hidden base on the other bottom right spot here. Now, shuttle looks like it's ready to harass, but Boon's in place. I don't think it's going to achieve much.
I don't know, you gotta be very careful here. You see how fast your army loses a lot of power if you lose these shuttles with the Reavers. That's why it's a kind of unit that has a lot of muscle to it, but you want to transition out at some point. They're very fragile. If things go wrong, they go really wrong fast. But Storm's starting to be researched from Gandy. He's got a lot of ground yards here, but a lot of supply. There's Templar in the main, not outside the natural. The Reavers are at the third, not involved in this fight. Stanley's going to start pushing forward. He's going to have a nice big concave, immediately forcing the opponent to retreat. Here comes that shuttle Reaver of their own. We're back to C2 the natural.
Yeah, I mean, Storm is not going to be available in time for this fight. And as you see, the Reaver's out of position. Now those Zealots, it's like, oh god, kill that Reaver, because it's going to kill them first. Once again, Stanel, not with the best Reaver micro, does not pick it up at all before it dies. I mean, I'm not sure who has the goon count now. Looks like Stanel still. There is a cannon here, but that's a lot of goons. And Storm is still a long way off. I think Stanel can continue this push here. If he can kill that natural Nexus, that's all he needs to do to take the commanding lead. He doesn't actually need to push up the ramp or anything like that. And that's just too many goons. There's no way he's saving that Nexus, right? Storm is not going to be out in time. Some Speed Zealot's coming down, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be enough. A Reaver even pops out. Every unit you can imagine in PvP coming out right now, but I think Stanel still has what he needs. Well, that Reaver shooting from the high ground, I don't know.
Yeah, this is going right back to what I said a couple minutes ago. Taking that third base so dangerous because Gandy has Reaver.
Oh, he's going up the ramp.
Investment in cannon.
Oh my god. And if he gets these Templars, I mean, never mind the Reaver, that's already dead. But if he gets these Templars, that's absolutely huge. There's so much gas sitting there. Focusing probes instead, which is still very well worth it. So much damage has gone down. Where is the army for Gandy? There's nothing coming out right now. He has nothing to stop this. Storm is done finally, but the probes...
He made a pile. He made a pile of DTs. The Storm does finally finish out. There's no observer here for Stanel, so these DTs pop out. He's gonna have to retreat away. But still, so much damage already done. An observer about to join up the army, so the DT is gonna do what they can. They got a lot of muscle to them. Can the Dragoons fight him off? He stunned the micro a little bit. Probe's getting transferred to the third, right in the face of danger. He doesn't even care. But still, Stanel did everything he needed to here. Storm's doing absolutely everything he can, but there's no real ground army behind this for Gandy. You can see with that economy in shambles at this point, the supply deficit so huge. Stanel held on long enough and punished Gandy's moment of weakness.
Yeah, these Zealots going to do it, and that is the end of that game. Wow, so Stanel really putting on relentless pressure. Yeah, one over aggressive attack, but he just found his moment and just overwhelmed his opponent. I'm really impressed by Stanel's play there. Even though Gandy got the better of the openings for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But remember, losing those couple of Reavers, which even that didn't really play a critical part in how that game played out. It was taking the third base, there's like 4 cannons and 2 reavers just hanging out there. Like, at a certain point, you just can't keep investing in stuff like that. That's why taking these bases in PvP ends up being so difficult in the matchup, knowing when you actually have the safety to get it done.
Yeah, definitely. That was, if he had a shuttle, right? If he had a shuttle, everything would be different, I want to say.
I don't think so. Stanel was too far forward. He, like, went right to that concave spot outside the natural. He went right to that little, like, path where everything connects. I don't think even the shuttle would have helped.
Let's introduce these players and talk about it some more. So, in the top right, in the blue, conveniently, we have Blue Lagoon, aka Blue Laguna, and the bottom left, in the red, we have Stanel just victorious in that PvP. And we're riding that high into this PvC. So, before we talk about this game, yes, about that last game, maybe if he was able to position himself, Gandy that is, out in the area between the natural and the third, doesn't get in that concave like you were saying, but I mean, Stanel did just have the goon count. Because of those two, the suppliers locked up in those 2 reavers, and maybe if he picks off the reavers again quickly, who knows?
Well, you gotta remember, because especially, like, it happens in every kind of matchup, but especially goon versus goon, getting the better concave where all your stuff's firing, if you can get the chance to focus fire as well. You saw the Zealots didn't get really a lot done either, and it's just like half of the army from Gandy was behind, not involved in the fight. The tech wasn't around either, and he's at his maximum weakness. Took a Nexus, but didn't get the money from it. Has the Templars, but doesn't have Storm yet. It was just a great timing for Stanel to go for that attack. And it's just, I think it was just Gandy being a little too greedy, ends up getting punished for it. But you know what? That's just honestly Stanel playing well. I'm excited to see this one, because Blue Laguna was on my team last season, and he's a good player. Oh crap, he's so strong.
That's why he's playing against Stanel, who's now in T0. Now, look at this probe. What is going on with this probe right now? I am perplexed and bemused what this probe is doing.
I have no idea. Like Blue Laguna is not playing random or anything, right? Like, there's no like extra
random
shenanigans.
Is not allowed
like,
in
this
CPL.
is definitely Zerg, right?
Random is not allowed in CPL. So, see, they would have arrived just too late for a hatch first. That's the thing. That would not have been in time for a hatch first. So I'm not sure what the plan was. Presumably wanted to evade any early drone scout going across, but like I don't really see the benefit here. But whatever, the probe's here now. All is right with the world. We see a cannon going up very early against this 9 pool. We'll see if we see a second one. It's not 9 pool speed. It's just regular old 9 pool. Oh, sorry.
You got it.
It's overpool. Sorry, I didn't see the second overlord. My bad. Gosh.
Yeah, it ended up being overpool. Manages to block the hatchery. But, I mean, still get that 1 cannon. Be on a little bit on the safe side. Like, I don't think there's any real problem with it. So, I mean, you just want to make sure things are going wrong. Now, getting the gateway before the Nexus, I don't know if I'm on board with that one. That's a little extra, like, being conservative, I think. That's the whole point of Forge, that you get to get the Nexus, get that economy rolling before you have to start actually making fighting units. So, can't say I support this kind of thing.
Well, with losing the probe, definitely I agree. Look, if you don't lose the probe, I feel like there's always the potential that you can send Zealots across the map, put pressure on if Zerg is greedy. It's definitely like materially not favored, but maybe you have that aspect where you can suddenly be like, aha, I have Zealots and you didn't make Lings. But losing the scouting probe makes that very unlikely to go ahead. Now look at this gas steal. I don't really see the point, because it's not like there's even a cyber yet, not even started the Nexus. Is it really going to be worth it, Laguna? Really?
Well, so realistically, think you're Protoss. Think of how scary it is to take that first Zealot and not have it at the wall.
True, I suppose.
It's kind of scary, so you might actually slow things down a little bit. It's hard to... It's the kind of thing that doesn't happen very often, so we'll see what the reaction is. And we're just going to see a probe kind of whittle away at this, but that's going to take forever. You're going to want a little bit of reinforcement there instead. Yeah,
especially with the scouting probe dead. I guess he did send another one, though, so... I feel like as long as this probe sees that no Lings are being made, you'll be perfectly comfortable sending that Zealot to hit that extractor. Yeah, look, and he's going to go ahead and do it, because this probe's not seeing any Lings come out. He's going to confirm the third in just a moment. So yeah, I still question how worth it this is, because like I said, still no cyber has even started, so it's not like Stanel's going, oh no, I don't have gas, I'm doomed.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the more I think about it, maybe there's a little bit of value, because there's one pylon in the main, right? So it has good scouting info for this early part of the game. And like, the drone was in there, but the cannon's made. You're not getting the drone back out. So what? It's another 25 minerals.
50.
Oh, but take a StarCraft too. Shit. But still, like, it's such a minimal investment to buy yourself a little bit of time here, kind of annoy your opponent. You can see 2 Zealots back here working on it. So, I mean, you're getting a little bit of information here. I don't think it was that bad, and it ended up actually being that the core is about to finish before the gas. It ends up having to take the gas to the natural
But see,
first.
he took his natural one already, yeah. So I think it's not too bad for Protoss. I don't know. I mean, I guess though you're right. If the drone is already in there and the cannon's finished, yeah, I guess. But like, it would be better not to even have got the drone stuck. I think, and just keep it, save that other 50 minerals as well. I'm not a fan.
It's definitely weird, but maybe that is just the kind of low investment play that's like, let's throw a wrench in it. Let's make it a little weird and see how my opponent wants to react to it. And he's got to react by sending a couple zealots up to the 12 o'clock. There's nothing here to defend it. No static defense, no units on the field. So these zealots definitely going to be able to shut down this base for a little bit. This is a great little move out from Stanel.
Yeah, I think they passed some of Blue Laguna's units, but they didn't see. And now these drones, instantly murdered. Another one, is it going to go down? Okay, he does pull them back. So now these cells just going to go to work in this hatchery. And Zerg has to panic make Zerglings here. He's just going for 3 hatch Spire, so he really has nothing. Second gas coming up as well, interestingly. I wonder if he wanted to go for Mutalisk here, but unfortunately, speaking of throwing wrenches in the plane, this is a much bigger wrench than stealing Protoss' gas.
Well, yes, I definitely agree with that. He's going for the hatchery. Takes a lot of damage. I don't think you're able to clean it off, but still, you're going to be able to fight these Lings. They do try to get this around the best they can. This Ling speed, very useful in this situation. Stanel doing their best job to micro this and just buy time, make sure these Lings don't get across the map. But I gotta interject this a little bit. I want to see it from Blue Laguna. We're gonna play a little psychic game. Ooh, look at this! This one cell got to the natural. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Did it kill a drone through the gap? Oh my god! Like it killed the drone like
punched through the minerals, man.
Yeah. What do you want to see from Blue Laguna though? Tell me.
I want to see when the Spire finish actually going muta.
But they didn't actually mine gas until now. Oh my god. I mean, you need some drones to make muta, right? And currently he's killing all of them. Okay. The dice drill there is going to deny any more damage just now. Oh, but he does get another one. Very nicely done. Okay, the zealots are all cleaned up.
It's still a lot of disruption, getting some worker kills, kind of throwing things off of Blue Laguna, so Stanel definitely worth that investment of a couple zealots. But there is a lot of Lings on the map now. They're moving across. One zealot manages to be seen in the middle of the map. You can surround that and easily kill it if you want to. And like you're gonna see, is this wall ready for the defense? It's a couple zealots up here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
if these Lings want to try to force it through.
Two cannons, I don't really see anything happening. Yeah, he's gonna push that back. The zealot's kind of in the weird halfway position. I think actually one zealot can block if it's perfectly positioned.
Alright, so here comes the mutas. And now I'm going to go back to my point, okay? We're going to finish what I was saying.
Right.
Back to the gas deal, okay?
Right.
One of the builds that is like, it's the build I like to do in this matchup. Whether I execute it well, different story. But you get, if you're going for the Corsair with the +1 air weapons and the +1 ground weapons, like that Bisu, kind of like modern Bisu style, you need to get your gas before the Cyber Core's finished to get everything kind of in line. So this slowed down the +1 air weapons. It slows down the Stargate a little bit. So if you did get disrupted and you go mutas, maybe you can kind of get like a robust attack going here. This Corsair is going to get caught out by the movement shot as well. Well executed from Blue Laguna. Going to get this pick off. Yeah. And that first Corsair going down when you actually want to go mutas here. You can see decent resources banked up from the Zerg player here. Stanel might be in a little bit of panic time. He's got to figure out how he's going to deal with this. Starting to make some cannons, but one cannon in May, one at the natural, like in the mineral line. It's not quite enough if you can find that perfect angle.
Well, I do feel compelled to point out that Stanel does have like 800 gas in the bank, so it's not like he didn't have enough gas. I think he just wasn't able to spend it quickly. Now, these Corsairs getting split up. One heading down to the natural, and the Scourge just immediately pick off that one. So far this is going very well for Blue Laguna. Now, there's only 4 Mutalisks here, which you don't really want to engage those cannons with, but he can continue to pick off Corsairs and he gets the right engage. But look at that, another one falls. Oh, well, okay, I guess there's only one Scourge there. But it falls to the Mutas just after. And these Mutas going to continue to harass, doing great damage, keeping the Protoss back, making up a bit for the damage he took from the Zealots earlier.
Yeah, and as Protoss, now you have to predict, like, does the Zerg keep leaning into the mutas here? Or is this just like, this is all they're getting, the switch of the Hydra? We're seeing from Cloud themselves adding on more drones, working on the Hydra tech, getting some extra hatcheries and Evo chambers. So, like, these mutas, they serve the disruption, but maybe you throw your opponent off, they kind of get committed on certain other things. But a couple Zealots move towards that 12 o'clock base. There's a lot of Lings here. But hey, now you got speed, you got that +1. These Zealots are a lot more threatening against this low tier ground armor.
But these Hydras, luckily the tier 1.5 has come to defeat the tier 1, and the Mutas in fact as well, will clean this up quite well. So actually that's nice. Oh wait, he got a drone though. I didn't see that. Will he get another one? Oh, he does get another one. Okay, that was well worth it then I think for Protoss.
Yeah, it's always so weird to think about that kind of stuff. That's like, like I lost 4 zealots, but I got 2 or 3 drones. Like,
Yeah,
worth it. It's
yeah, like 400
how
mils
does
for
that
how
math?
much? Yeah.
It has that math out, but you know what? It ends up happening. And it diverts all the Zerg attention to the 12 o'clock. This gives an opportunity for a probe to go to the bottom right, start setting up another base. So, you know,
Ooh.
Standal's, like,
I
they
don't
got
know
the
how I feel
plan
about
moving
that.
forward.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because Zerg has a lot of mobility with these Mutas and Hydras. I mean, all they need to do is find it, right? Will they find it? Like I say about hidden bases, I can never say it's a bad move if it works.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you invest units down there to like attack that base, especially before it's really kind of fortified, as the Corsairs start to build up, as the Storm's available as well, it's about to finish up here. Here comes that move out right before Storm finishes. Just finishes right now. Blue Gun is going to keep attacking forward. Let's see, the first Storm gets dodged beautifully, so it doesn't get the damage done they needed. So I think Blue Laguna, like, they got Stanel under some pressure, but yeah, they're not looking for that extra base. We'll see if Stanel actually takes it. This could be that kind of sneaky expansion where Zerg gets thrown off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Zerg without a 4th base yet, right? We will be falling behind if it's on even bases for too long. Now, we see a lot of Templars, not many Zealots in this army. Oh, no! That Storm, indeed. That killed so much of the Zerg army, so never mind what I was saying. I was going to say, this army looks a bit fragile for Protoss, but now he's killed so much Zerg. I mean, as long as he reinforces a little bit, he can come across the map here, and all he needs to do in this position is deny a 4th and keep his own 3rd up, and he will win eventually. Now, Zerg thinking of taking that 4th, sending a drone across to the 12 o'clock, not interested in the bottom right apparently, at least not for now. But I mean, look at the gas bank compared to the mineral bank for Blue Laguna. Stanel getting his macro back under control, not with a huge gas bank anymore. It shows the size of his army is increasing, whereas Blue Laguna really banking up that gas, mining from 2 gas for so long without much drones on the 3rd after all that harass.
Oh, we're going to see a little bit of engagement here, but that gas bank will definitely deplete as that Lurker aspect finishes. But a little group of Hydras gets trapped out, fighting some Zealots. Here come a lot of Storms behind it. They're trying to dodge them the best they can. Doing a decent job so far. These Templar are taking some big damage. This is actually a great pick off for Blue Laguna.
Yeah.
That Storm actually ends up doing some big damage here. So both sides losing some decent fight, but that was a lot of tech lost by Stanley. You can see he's already turning around. He doesn't want to keep pushing forward at this point.
Yeah, like I was saying, this army's a bit weird with so few Zealots compared to Templars, so Blue Laguna is seeing correctly that, like, you just need to get on top of the Templars and suddenly you get great value and whittle that down. Oh my gosh, these drones sticking past. I don't know about going for the Overlord there when there's Hydras and a Muta shooting at you. I guess the Muta got even killed by collateral damage. Now that there's 5+1 Corsairs here, look at all those Overlords. If he could somehow deal with those Hydras, but Lurkers are just about to hatch. Can he storm the eggs in time? He has 2 storms available, but they hatch. Looks like these Lurkers are not going to be able to survive. They spread smartly, not just burrowing them instantly, because then they certainly would get taken out. And the Templar's getting picked off again. Double Storm gets cast, but does not kill a single unit. Unfortunately, Stanel not really able to manage these high Templars that well so far in this game.
Well, I think it's also just, like, I think the fraction of a timing feels a couple seconds faster that he saw the Lurkers before they popped out. I think maybe a little bit quicker here, Stan will find some better opportunities. But he is backing off, not trying to force the issue. That Robo now in the way, so Observer's still pretty far off. But at least that 3rd base is established, Can's up at the front, and he's working on that Nexus here. So at least I've managed to take that without anything too bad happening. While Blue Laguna is taking their 4th base up on that top side of the map, going to go horizontally here, which can be dangerous. Ooh, a couple Overlords moving out. Free kills for these Dragoons. That's a little unfortunate there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the game continues on this trend, Protoss probably...
Corsairs in the natural.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Oh, gosh, they're getting huge damage already. 3 Overlords falling. Will he get more? These Hydras are a little bit out of position. Oh, I almost selected the Lurker egg. That was dangerous.
Yeah, please don't do that again. But these Corsair supply block Blue Gunna quite heavily here. A lot of words in production. They're going for more, everything they can get here. And as they fly left, they're going to see that base. So there's the intel. Sale's going to have the all the knowledge they want to know where should they be attacking here. Losing a couple Corsairs, flying a little dangerously. Look at that move out straight towards that upper base, trying to find some opportunity. But the observatory is just finishing. You still have to be careful about Lurkers here. Let's see if he actually wants to pull the trigger, because it is only 2 of them.
Yeah, can he just brute force it and kill the hatchery even if he loses most of his army here? Is that worth it?
I don't think so. I think it's so dangerous here.
Well,
but here comes
he's going to
that
go
first
for
storm.
it. Yeah, Storm's the Lurker. I mean, yeah, you're right. There probably isn't quite enough Protoss here to do this, and of course then there'd be a counterattack. The thing is, Zerg still doesn't know the location of this 3rd. Maybe he's assuming there's a 3rd at 9 o'clock right now, because no player has ever been to the 9 o'clock, as we can see by the fog of war. But yeah, I don't know. This base does seem very weak. Imagine Stanel just moves up on the left side here. How's Blue going to do anything about that? But he does need to consolidate his army and get it all together. I mean, there's kind of units spread all over the map right now. And the Hydra taking this opportunity. Once again, another Templar getting caught out. And will it die? No, I guess it's fine. Casts the Storm. Doing more damage to Zealots, to be honest, but forces the Hydra to retreat. Now, where is this Observer? He needs it. Ooh, taking another base.
Finally, the Sea Observer finally at the naturals, going to start moving now. So that could be the thing you're going for. Stanley going to start that 4th base. So they're really kind of grinding up this economy, making sure they can support a lot of units here. But I will say, Blue Laguna has done a great job droning up on 4 bases, has a lot of income coming through. Hasn't started that high tech. That's the one thing I wish I would like to see. It feels like a little bit late at this point. But once everything gets moving here, like the setup for Blue Laguna is quite good. It's going to be hard for Standal to find a good engage where he's not at risk of getting overrun by the Zerg army. But I think both players are just going to macro up. We're going to see a nice late game PvZ.
Yeah, I definitely agree that since he joined up so much more, I would like to see Hive Tech, and that's what's going to make the difference here. As Stanley is adding more and more Dragoons to the army, it becomes harder and harder for this local Hydra to actually fight it with good upgrades, and like especially maintaining position on this ramp. This composition was actually very strong, especially against all these lurkers, right? You really need Defilers just to throw into the work. I mean, Defilers kind of crush Dragoons with both of their spells, to be honest, so that would be key here, but unfortunately none of them coming out yet. Still getting Scourge, preparing for drops and maybe to snipe these Observers. I still think this 12 o'clock is very weak. If Protoss is able to maneuver their army around to this location, it looks like a hit squad might be heading up that direction. The Corsairs are back for the next round though, and there's 6 of them once again going in against these Overlords. All the Hydras there got morphed. There's a couple Scourge. Well, I guess they're going to try and do their job. No Hydra. Oh my gosh, what are these Hydras even doing here? What?
40 chests, man. They're waiting for the Corsairs. Oh, look at the extra.
Oh, they sure are. Goodbye,
70
Corsairs.
chess, Galaxy Brain level chess here, playing the Hydras in position. But here comes that attack up at that 11 o'clock base. It's going right through. There's still a decent amount of lurkers here. Where's the Observer? Where's the detection? It's behind the army, not
if all the lurkers are out of position, he's going to kill that hatchery real fast. Plus 2 goons, kill buildings pretty fast. And I mean, like I was saying, we're out of position. Oh, kill the hatchery, please! Please kill the hatchery. Are you kidding me? It's like 3 shots from death. Okay, the opposite's there though, and the Protoss army actually coming in with the flank at the same time. What a great move by Stanel. Baits the Zerg army out of position, then immediately hits with the main bulk of his army. He's actually going to crush this, I think. I don't see any storms going down though. It is only Dragoons, but nonetheless, I think the hatchery should fall. Well, we'll see. Please kill hatchery, Stanel.
Alright, okay, yeah, finally takes it down, but this is actually such a weird fight. It was Standal engaging up in the top base. Zerg's like, alright, I'll fight you now, like at the Hydras. The surround from Protoss, and then the counter surround from all these Hydras that are in the bases from Blue Laguna. So there's just that, like, me, it's like, call an ambulance, but not for me. Both sides take a lot of losses, but that base does go down for Blue Laguna. But look, the Zerg ahead on supply at this late game stage. Always a dangerous situation. Yes. I really would love to see that high tech though, man. This could have broken the game open, but still, Blue Laguna in a great spot after all things are said and done.
Well, here's the thing, right? Stanel with these 4 bases will eventually be able to get a superior army once again, but will there be time? If Zerg uses this tempo, puts on the pressure, maybe he can get something done. This probe going to move to the 9 o'clock, but this is not the time to take that base, I don't think. Stanel relentless with the expanding, but I mean, there's a limit of what you can achieve. And here comes the Zerg army, looks like they're going to attack. Look, simple fact is, Hydras are OP unless you get Storm. You just can't fight him without Storm. I mean, the same thing with Lurkers. If they're clumped in one spot, they're actually broken, except that Storm will just slaughter them. Everything in StarCraft is OP until you get the counter. Goons are pretty good until you make them move and interact with the map. Here come these Hydras and Lurkers.
Well, I don't know, man. We're seeing a second robo being made. The support base has been finished for a while. Maybe that late game transition, getting the Reavers for defense. Big engage, though. These
you can't win this
storms
fight
could be there.
storms.
Where are they? One tempo goes down, that first storm hits. It's okay. It's not great though. Both sides losing a lot of army here, but Blue Laguna's adding a lot of drones behind this, actually leading in the worker count here. And these engages, if they keep kind of going evenly like this, I actually like it for Zerg here. These armies are so easy to reinforce and so brutal, but they're an attempt to take a base up the top left. The Observer sees all of it, but this is Blue Lagoon trying to just go straight across that top side, take all the bases, including that valuable double gas.
Yeah, you know, another thing about not having Hive, right, is that Blue Laguna cannot threaten these bottom right bases, right? Ramp with cannons, I mean, you can try with Hydras and Lurkers all day, it's not going to happen. Because Darkstorm, that's a different matter. Oh, that probe, I thought he was going to win that fight, but he was not. And yeah, as you say, so Observer seeing this, Protoss is going to come up here and crush the space. But I mean, the Zerg army is still stronger right now. It's just a matter of getting it in position. Stanel relentless both with the aggression and with the expanding, and I feel like Blue Laguna, even though materially they seem ahead, they can't keep up.
Yeah, I mean, Overlord does finally see one of these bottom right bases, so Blue Laguna has the information of how they want to attack now. He does lose that top left base, a little unfortunate there. This armor from Stanel started to really kind of accumulate. Finally, a Queen's Nest gets started, so a move to get towards that tech. And remember, like you said, like, oh, if you don't have high tech, you can't go in. There's always Doom Drops. Doom Drops are live the moment you hit lair, so all you gotta start reaching them. There's a little fight on the left side, but look at this giant Zerg move out down to the bottom right section. This could be real dangerous for Stanel. He's got a Reaver and some cannons to help defend this. I don't know, gotta choose the right spot to attack here as Blue Laguna.
Yeah, I think attacking up that ramp would be absolute suicide. The other one, no Reaver, maybe, but I mean, it's very tough with that palm wall position. Another Robo actually being made there. And look at that, I think we're going to realize the other base is a no-go, but I mean, I don't know, this is not going to be efficient for the Zerg. Maybe he can break through, but at what cost? Oh, you can walk through there? Okay, never mind. I guess he's fine.
Yeah, just waltz on in, that Robo finishes, but the Reaver is just getting started so far away at this point. It's going to be hard, but here comes that Protoss army looking like he is going to retreat, try to defend the space. So much damage already happened. The cannons all go down. A lot of probes are here as well. Hydra should be able to clean everything up. But here comes that Protoss army. If you can clean off all these Hydras, do you feel comfortable here as Stanel? Because he's going to have a pretty good supply lead if he can clear all this out.
I think it's still totally worth it for Zerg, as long as he can get up his defense with Lurkers and such at home. But I mean, I don't see many around. It might be scary for sure. Depends how well Stanel get the engaged. Honestly, what Stanel need here is just like a single DT or High Templar. Probably could have defended this base. Just by making that much harder to get up the ramp. But as it stands, it looks like the Nexus is barely going to fall before it gets cleaned up. The infrastructure will remain, but Protoss unfortunately has to kill these pilots just to get in here. Oh, actually, I say that, but he cleans it up slowly with Zealots. This is actually not that bad for the Protoss, as long as he can remake those pros. His pro count is extremely low right now. Down to only 24. That's a big issue, and he's only mining from that one base, actually. I mean, it looked good for Protoss until this happened, so suddenly he's in a really tenuous position. Let's see if he can get counter damage done. This is a big Protoss army coming up, but that said, Zerg has plenty of Lurkers morphing. Oh my god, imagine a storm there. But nonetheless, the Lurkers finish in time. Can they spread out before the Templars arrive? Uh-oh. This is actually kind of scary for the Zerg, having them all in one place like that. The Scourge going in on these observers, take out 2 of them, but there's still more. 2 more. Scourge double up on them. Unfortunately, Storms going down. These Lurkers doing huge damage, and there's plenty more Storms available. Look at all those Lurkers. Oh my gosh.
There's still a couple observers that are pretty safe off here. Splash damage massive for Stanel, takes a big win on this fight, but there's still a lot of lurkers here. Gonna slowly go through here. We're seeing some flank from the left side. It's not a lot of units, but maybe if you get that opportunity, Blue Laguna, so just trying to buy time, get some kind of units up. Stanel's got to start killing that little flank squad before it really gets out of control.
All the observers
seeing the Nexus. Yeah. So yeah, gotta retreat here on Stanel, but he bought the time he needed. Started to take that 9 o'clock base, so another base on the way here. Blue Laguna didn't match by taking the drone up the top left, and here's that attack straight to the 11 o'clock base. There's not a lot of real defense here, so maybe you can break through and eliminate this base against too.
But there's no observers. He diligently targeted all of them with Scourge, so not going to happen, I'm afraid. By the way, the critical mistake Stanel's making here is he's not remaking probes, so even if he gets that 9 o'clock up, it's not going to do him much good. And I mean, Zerg's still sitting pretty on almost 60 drones here, able to just spam so many Hydras and whittle down whatever Protoss makes. Now, this engagement was going well for Protoss, but has to retreat with no observer. He could have picked up all those Lurkers, but again, no detection. Oh, I'm very worried with this probe count. I don't think Stanel can come back with only 24 probes.
Yeah, and realistically, you can see the trying defense he's setting up at some of these bases. It's very mineral heavy to do, like, add on a lot of cans at this point.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the probes to really help out here. And he didn't take that other base in the bottom right. So, like, if you get it back at some point, I think maybe it's okay. But I would rather have my 2 bases down there, so your army could be in position to help defend it. But having these so spread out, especially as Hive Tech is now finished, you can start working towards defilers or these kind of late game Doom drops you see sometimes. I feel like it's going to be very difficult here. Blue Laguna, while losing some bases, still has such a good drone count, such a good economy. Will you have enough? The shell's going to fly over this base. So it's a couple Reavers. That's not what you're going to kill with. We'll see if Blue Laguna responds. If he has a couple Scourges, it'd be so bad.
Hydras are coming along though. These Reavers, I mean, it looks like it's going to be hard for them to get out of this location, but throwing down some damage, they need to pick up, there's Scourge there. No, these Reavers are done for.
Well, where are the They're not engaging. These Reavers doing everything they can. Decent damage, but
not worth it. Not worth it. They did not kill enough. For 2 whole Reavers in the shuttle, no way.
Well, even ignoring if they did kill enough, someone has a lot of money they could throw away and not really care about it. It isn't Stanel. I wouldn't be investing into these big expensive drops. This is prime like one high Templar storm drop territory.
True.
Minimal losses in case things go bad. So unfortunate there, but still Stanel does get that 9 o'clock base up. There's no probes to transfer to it though. Look, he's got to build them one at a time.
Yeah, for almost like 5 minutes, he hasn't built any probes. And like I said, I think that's the key mistake here. After that base got taken out, he needed to rebuild the count, but he has no economy now. He's using these very expensive Reavers that achieve really not much. And look at this, he's forced to make so many Archons because gas is all he's got. I mean, I don't know. I don't really see Protoss' way out of this right now. Zerg is up 50 supply, takes out another Observer. Blue Lagoon is so good at getting those with the Scourge. A lot of players we see try and get it with Hydras, but Blue Lagoon is content to use Scourge. So far it's working beautifully now. There is still one in this army, a lot of Archons on top of it, so it seems safe for now. This is a weird composition. Archon Goon, I mean, it doesn't seem like a bad composition per se, but I think against pure Hydralisk, this is not that strong.
Honestly, against pure Zerg has 40 more supply than you. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, it's just not going to be enough here. At least the upgrades are really strong for the pros. Everything basically nearing maxed out 332s. Pretty impressive kind of upgrades here. And that high has been done, but I haven't really seen the tech being used for it. Like, where's the defilers? Like, even like with this big economy for Blue Lagoon, we can even like start working towards ultras, but he's still just kind of hitting links. He's not using spells. But this is a big Zerg force kind of accumulating, very cost effective as well. Maybe you could sneak through because we can punish that lower right base.
I don't know about this. Well, I mean, it is a lot of goons, but this is a nice Lurker field here. Where are the Zerg reinforcements? He needs reinforcements immediately. So many units hanging around is natural. He's not sending all of them right now. I mean, actually, Protoss will bust through here if nothing comes and helps, and taking out their base, and a lot of drones with it could be a nice comeback move for Protoss here. So many lings that the natural we see still just idling. Some coming across from 12 o'clock. Reavers even, I don't know where he even got those from, how he afforded those. A great storm killing those drones trying to retreat. That was a really nice storm. Doing so much damage there. I mean, this is a great move for Protoss, really bringing him back when his economy is so weak.
Well, you know where he got those Reavers from? They're the defense Reavers from the bottom right base. That base is basically shambles. It's just cannons now. So if Blue Lagoon attacks it, it's going to go well. His army is great against streaming in small units like this. Archons do everything they can against these legs.
Great storm. Yeah. That was really well done. Reavers though. Reavers.
Yeah, gotta be careful here. It does pick up everything with the shuttle, gonna walk away. Does eliminate another base here, but still, like, you're looking at the supply, it's getting closer. To actually get a lot of drone kills there. That worker count used to be so much higher here, but it is still now Hive Tech. The upgrades rolling, that +3 armor finally on the way for the Zerg ground unit. So if that will make Zealous basically ineffective at this stage in the game. But I saw 2 Defiler dents get made earlier. The upgrades aren't happening though. And some of these bases from Blue Lagoon are starting to mine out. That 12 o'clock basically on fumes. The main and the natural both gone as well. So the situation Stanel was in like 10 minutes ago, now Blue Lagoon's in it, where you have all this stuff, but where are you actually going to mine from?
Yeah, I mean, his drone count is matching the probe count, which is kind of sad when you consider how few probes got made. So both players have been really battered down here. Okay, so this top left I think is easily retaken from Blue Lagoon, but you got to think about after that, where is Zerg going to go? This 10 o'clock does not seem like an option, to be honest. And, you know, Saddle not mining for a long, long time, but still kind of technically has this bottom right, left side base secure. Maybe if another Reaver makes its way over there as well. So Blue Lagoon is really running out of options. Now, the Defiler tech finally coming up may enable Blue Lagoon to like crush the existing bases, and that could be a path to victory. But there's not that many expansions Zerg is going to be able to take going forward.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think either you got to make the choice. You have to break the bottom right and take them for yourself, or you have to put all your resources, take the 10 o'clock. I think if you just try to do either or just kind of let the game stagnate, Stanel's going to eventually build the force he needs. He could take the 10 himself or keep shutting down this top left area.
Oh,
but we got the Defilers now. Can he get something done?
Oh, that's a huge plague. But is there enough here to defend? I mean, the plague was nice, but can Protoss just break through anyway? Oh, the Observer's getting slaughtered once again. But where are the Lurkers? Who cares? There's nothing to stop this army powering through right now. Now, a lot of units coming from the back. There's a lot of Lings coming in. There is Reavers and Archons here, but the Goons are all plagued. Where is the Storm? There's energy. He needs a good Storm here. There goes one decent Storm. There goes another one. Oh my gosh, so many Lings falling. But I think, nonetheless, this Protoss army will barely be cleaned up with the amount of Hydras and Lurkers coming in here with no detection. One Reaver gets picked off. Oh my gosh. That looks super scary for a moment.
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be rough. And
Oh.
I see some Dark Templar in production. That sounds so perfect for putting pressure on the top left base. Because with everything going on, remembering to have good detection, having good overlord spread, this stage in the game, very easy thing to lose oversight on. But that top left base is established. Drones start mining from it, and you can see trying to move forward. Storm a little ineffective, but this Protoss army does join up back together a little bit again. We're back down to Protoss with a slight supply lead, like we were 20 minutes ago, and this game is still just back and forth. No one can really get a clear advantage. It seems like every time someone makes a move, a counter move happens right after.
Yeah, and although the Protoss army got reset, his economy had recovered, and he's still ahead in supply here a little bit. And like you said, these DTs maybe can accomplish something. Where are they? I didn't see them. Are they with the army?
I'm just seeing things in production queue where they get used. It's actually with the army here.
Okay. I thought it was going to die to that storm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, here's the problem though with the 10 o'clock. We kind of already saw it. You have to defend that natural, because if Protoss gets in and kills your tech, it's very hard to win even if you have a big economic lead. So if Zerg is extending all the way over here to the 10 o'clock, how are you going to defend the natural as well? Like, these two locations are so far apart. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just very unattractive for Zerg, I think, to be trying to take this base. And Protoss is moving up here, realizing this is becoming a key location on the map. Now, that bottom right, left-hand base finally getting taken here. A couple of Reavers there. One is unfortunately banished outside the wall, but I think that should be sufficient defense for now. No drops have been researched, of course, still. So many Scourge here, though. Blue Lagoon are determined to deny the existence of all observers, but hang on, you need detection for that, my friend. Templar coming on here with its hug attack, not working that well on those Zerglings. A DT trying to come in. Okay, here's the detection, and those Scourge are just waiting for this. Are we going to see another Plague here? We do see another Plague. Only hits 3 green. Still probably worth it. Nice storms.
At this point, energy for damage is always going to be worth it, regardless what it is. As long as you don't lose the units doing it. But he does manage to keep that Defiler alive, for example. He's trying to build up some static defense, a little scrappy army. There isn't really going to be enough. But this did buy time. That lower right base is established now. And this is kind of right in time, because the other lower right base is going to mine out soon. Just transfer the probes on over. Well, you don't even need to make new ones. At this point, you can just make that a little bit easy for yourself. But still, no one's going to be able to really get a good foothold on this 10 o'clock base. Little Strings of Lean trying to do some damage here for Blue Laguna, but how do you open this game with this?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming very hard. I guess for Stanel also, it's quite difficult to get 10 o'clock. This is the base this game probably comes down to be honest, unless one player can break an outlying base. These Archons doing their best against Zerglings. It looks like they will clean them up. Archons pretty good units against Zerglings. Darksoul not going to help you out there, buddy. The Lings are already all gone, but they retreat here. Or do they?
Yeah, I really just want to see at this point, like we're 30 minutes in. You have to have drops in his Overlord's so, like, just dropping 2 Overlords of Lings, it's so
no, there's 2 Reavers in there! Oh my god, okay. The Scourge spread their damage and barely don't take out these, like, 3 Reavers. And Archon, oh, he storms his own shuttle that had an Archon and a Reaver in it. Oh, that is such a loss for the Protoss here. It's not like our players that much money, but these Reavers starting to get established. If Protoss can secure this position here with a bunch of Templars and Reavers, what is Zerg going to do about it? Like I was saying, Zerg is running out of bases to take. If Protoss can eventually secure this, they'll have the bases they need to win the game. Barely any mining happening in the bottom right. These 3 probes just chilling, not mining minerals. Gas is being mined. There's Plagues and Reavers, which is nice, but, you know, they can still kind of pick up in the shuttle. Maybe not the most impactful. These Lings come across. My gosh.
Yeah. It really is just hard to tell what to do. Do you like try to go tooth and nail to break through at this 10 o'clock base? Or is this Stanel not even trying to take it? Is he just trying to go in? You see, look, the shuttle moving towards that top left. That one Reaver gets dropped off behind enemy lines.
But at the same time, the attack coming in, this is just a distraction for Protoss. But these Lurkers so clumped up. And you know Neblim's vintage rhyme. Lurkers clump together, prepare for stormy weather. They get repulsed easily. Now, the Reaver did get taken out at the top left, but it took out a few drones and a few Lings for its trouble. So honestly, it was probably worth it for Protoss there. Now, I was going to say, in this kind of situation, Zerg is compelled to attack. Because if you end up in a stalemate situation, Protoss will eventually win with, like, really weird late-game stuff like mind control. So Zerg must take this 10 o'clock to win, I believe. I don't think Zerg can win if Protoss mines it out. But we'll see. We'll see.
The fact that we haven't seen an attempt to Dark Swarm and break the bottom right bases with Lings is, like, I'm not going to say it would have worked, but we haven't even seen an attempt at it.
Yeah.
Like, no real, like, no drops, nothing to really get stand out of position. Blue going to keep fighting the Protoss army where the Protoss army is. That's the best thing Protoss can hope for at this stage in the game.
Oh, another Observer getting taken out. I mean, lucky they only cost gas because Stanel only has 70 minerals. A probe finally makes its way up here. Gonna start putting down cannons here, and it's starting to get very, very locked down here. Although Stanley's army getting spread out. Okay, now Stanley has a formidable army here. Plenty of Templars, Zealots, a couple goons. He's got the sophistication I think he needs to hold this location. And I mean, it is close to Zerg's last mining base as well, so he can potentially put some harass on. I would not say you want to go down that ramp, but that said, there's no lurkers at the top left right now. The only problem is as soon as Protoss goes down that ramp, Zerg is immediately going to come across and secure this teleport location again. So Protoss kind of pinned here right now, but nonetheless, he's in the location he wants to be in. Decent play. Going to get those Zealots, really weaken them. It looks like Protoss going to come across here. I'm not so sure about this. I don't think you want to go into Zerg territory here. Yeah, look, he does pull back, go back to his own ramp. Zerg surging forward on the attack here. There's another Plague available, and there's a lot of Zealots you could potentially hit.
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
here we go.
I just want to see Stanley being served. Great Plague there. Hit so many of these units. I mean, it's still, though, that did cost Blue Lagoon to units. A lot of lurkers being made behind this, a good amount of lengths, but these Archons can do the splash damage they need. There goes Dark Swarm. We're going to try to help out here. There's still a lot of units.
The lurkers are morphing, though. The lurker's almost ready, and there's a swarm they can run in under. All those Zealots are plagued. They will kill them so fast. I mean, Archons alone don't do that much, but they get forward. These lurkers not done yet. The Exeum targeted a little bit, but no, he aborts that. They're hatching. Where's the Observers? They're still alive. That's so many lurkers, though. Can these Archons actually do anything? Templars coming up as well, available to storm these. So many Lings searching in. There goes the storm. Observers getting taken out. All the Observers are gone. Protoss once again forced to pull back with no detection. Really looked like he was going to break through there. My god.
Hey, still, you got a lot of units out of Blue Laguna, and look at that mineral income that he doesn't have, because that 11 o'clock base is mined out as well. Now it's just the top left is the only thing you care about. Stanley's still mining off a couple bases, so the economy a lot stronger at this point, which honestly, when you get to this low econ late game, you think that Zerg has the advantage, but all those drones early mine things out. He's got to live the life of a real race and figure out how to deal with this ever-growing tech army.
Is that some Protoss salt coming in here? But yeah, I think Stanley, as long as he maintains the location, has this game. And I mean, what a crazy game this was. I can't believe that Laguna stayed on lair for so long. It really looked like almost taking it. But now I think as long as Stanley doesn't overcommit on the attack, that this is pretty much over. I don't see what Zerg can do here against all those Archons. Well,
honestly, at this late in the game, and you know all the fight's gonna happen on one side, this actually would not be a bad case to like actually kind of get Maelstrom, start working on some of these other energy units. A lot of Archons though. Here comes the push forward. Darkstorm goes down.
Observer survives. You only need one.
And trying to do what they can. The Reaver up at the front does go down. There's a lot of a lot of Archons firing off. The Dragoons can't really help here. Backing off the best they can. There's still a Templar here. Does it have energy for Storm? No, it does not. Very low energy, unfortunately. We are not seeing anything go down as far as these filers. These lurkers trying to do what they can. A Plague goes down. Doesn't really hurt Archons too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately for Zerg, he's not playing TBZ here, so he can't come in here to shoot Dark Storm alone. Storms will deny him. And like you're saying about Dark Archons, I do agree that when you get to this late game stalemate scenario, if Zerg doesn't want to leave the game, that's what you have to do, just to like chip away. Naturally, like Protoss is ahead here, but the thing is, they can set up a very strong defense where Protoss doesn't really want to attack in. But once you get mind control, you know you can just snipe off lurkers or anything over time, and there's not much Zerg can do about it.
Well, I'm not even thinking mind control. There's just Maelstrom. These attacks from Blue Laguna are clumped units attacking one spot. Like decent Maelstrom to stun them and take that without taking losses behind.
That's only applicable as long as Zerg continues attacking, but it's getting to the point where they're not going to be able to really because they don't have that much money left. And I think Zerg's like. Doesn't have many options left. And like I was saying, if Zerg doesn't attack though, I don't think there's not much they can do. So maybe you're right that he should expect Zerg to attack. But at the same time, I don't see an attack can possibly succeed here. I mean, look at this ramp, how strongly it's held with all these Archons. And now, Protoss going to move down here. There's Defilers galore down here, ready for plays, ready for Dark Swarms. But I mean, it's mostly Archons. That is not going to help for that Sunken at all. And where are the Lurkers? We see one coming down, but that's not going to be enough. I mean, that Reaver alone probably take that out. Reavers do not care about Dark Swarm at all. For some reason, don't ask me why. So they're going to crush that lurker pretty easily. Oh, look at those Scourge, they're dead. Oh, wow, they don't even get that shuttle. Archon's a pretty good unit. And yeah, now Protoss crushing this top left base. That might be the final blow in this game.
Yeah, it seems like a Blue Laguna is not going to be able to hold on. An epic game between the two. Stanley does finally pull it out. And I feel like there's just a large window of time for Blue Laguna, just try to attack somewhere else. But he kept attacking into Stanley, into where he wasn't trying to pull the army out of position, wasn't doing a doom drop to like force some kind of big reaction. And I think just over time, it's like, you know that mindset where you're like, oh, I can win this fight, I got so much stuff, and you just keep trying it, and it just keeps not working barely. and that eventually just cost him the game.
Well, I think Stanel in the first half of the game didn't have a single good engage, but he just kept expanding so relentlessly that he managed to keep up. But then he lost that base, and he didn't remake the probe. He's kind of backed off for a bit, but because Zerg's Hive Tech was so late, he wasn't able to capitalize. So we're going to jump into our final game for tonight. Like we mentioned, unfortunately, not everyone uploaded the replay, so we don't have every matchup that occurred in those groups. Although maybe we do have every matchup and people just hardly played any games. That'd be sad. We'll see what we've got.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. Now, as we go into the regular season, trust me, we'll hound you a little bit more. There's going to be some team admins we can yell at when there's not replays. So if this cherry picking is more of a preseason only thing, but we'll see how things end up going here as we get into the final game.
In the top right, in the red, we have Stanel. And in the bottom left, in the blue, it's Terra Hydrocano, aka, I think this is NGZ, is it? Hang on, I better check that. Because now I've forgotten which player it is. It is NGZ, yes. So we have Stanel versus NGZ. Stanel walking tall against Zerg in that last game. See if he can pull it off again.
Yeah, I mean, after how that game went, I hope this was not like the game after class. Like, I'll play after class. Yeah. That'd be just brutal if that was the case. But Stanel showing a real very tenacious kind of defense, holding on in bad situations, knowing how to win when the line to do so is a little bit off. But a large part of that was sneaking that third base in the bottom right.
Yes.
So how does that game go if there's a little bit more diligent scouting from the Zerg? I guess we'll see from this Zerg instead if we get a little bit more of sharp play and not letting Stanel get away with something maybe he shouldn't have.
Well, it's worth asking, could he not have just taken the Nautical and defended that? I don't think he would have had trouble defending it. It seemed like Zerg didn't ever come across there until way later, so I don't think he would have had an issue if he just took the normal base. Now, we do see a 9-pool speed coming up here, so obviously NGZ, very, very skillful and knowledgeable Zerg player going for the best build. Now, is it a Forge or a Gateway going to go down here? Looks like a Forge, okay. Man, we haven't seen a Gateway opening today, have we?
No, but I know Stanel, he's more of a Forge guy to begin with. Right. I think he likes... Because, I mean, you've seen how he is. He's a little bit better with the defense. I think doesn't want to rely on Zelt Micro or the opportunity to get caught out of position. So, Forge defense definitely feels a little bit more their speed, which this is completely fine for anyone watching. You can do whatever style you prefer. It is just there is a choice on which one. There's advantages to each, you gotta know. But out of this 9 pool, 3 lanes on the way. This Forge opening, it looks like Stanel's gonna blindly get one of the cannons. That probe is hanging around the hatchery. He's like getting ready to block, but nothing's coming down. In he comes, the pool's done. These lanes about to pop. And let's see what that reaction is. If it's gonna be a gateway, a second cannon, what are we gonna see from Stanel?
Second cannon goes down. Can you fit the gateway there? I guess you can. A bit thrust out wall, but yeah, he knows what's up. He's even trying to delay a little bit with this probe, I think. Okay, just pull it to the side. Yeah, about Stanel's play so far. What strikes me, I think, is he's really a fan of using a lot of goons. Like in PvP, we didn't see him tech to Templar too fast. In the other PvZs we've seen, I think he really has been dedicated to use goons. So I don't know. We'll see if he does that again. But he first gets to survive the sniper. Now this is a better wall, like you're talking about. It's piled a bit further up. Only has 1 gap now, and I think with these probes here, Zerg's probably not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, going through 2 cannons, even without the probes there, that's already kind of getting risky. Because if you commit to run past it and there's probes blocking a ramp, you're kind of in a lot of trouble here. But I mean, this still does slow things down. That Nexus still not started yet from Stanley. He's going to wait a while before he has the money to do that. Hatchery going up for Terra. So, you know what? Like, this is another... It's not what you're hoping for, but seems reasonable as the Link keeps chasing around this probe and just trying to get this scout killed off at some point here. See if Terra wants to go for the break, though.
I was going to say he's going to see that drone follow up, but no, he's going to let the third go down without any pressure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think NGZ is planning on a bust because he's just droning up now. I think he's just saying, okay, I'm going to open 9 pool, see what I get, but then I'm just going to try and transition to a normal game. And I think Zerg is fairly behind, but, you know, since he only made the 6 links, he's not overcommitting here. And, you know, Protoss is forced to make the 2 cannons and pull the probes, so there's slight equalizing factors. Zerg's still definitely behind, though.
Yeah, I don't think he particularly cares so much here. He sends out another probe scout right away, but with link speed done, I can't imagine this actually gets anything done. Feels like a little bit of a free donation of a worker, unfortunately.
I mean, if Bisu can do it, why can't you? Well, no, I guess he's not Bisu. Shame.
I mean, if he was Bisu, he can't play in CPL. Ban him. Ban him immediately.
True. That's right. That's one thing he can do that Bisu can't.
third cannon goes up. I guess because you can't scout, it's not 3-hatch Hydra immediately, or like a whole bunch of Lings. I mean, even if Zerg is making pure Ling, do you really need a third cannon, or it's just a matter of blocking it a little better?
Maybe blocking a little better, but at some point, I think you want to like not have all these pros part of the wall. Like you don't want to risk it going through them, but also just having a little extra defense because it could be 3-hatch Hydra at this point. We have the vision to know that it is a lair moving up behind this. You can see he's making that guess. This is one of the strengths of the threat of 3-hatch Hydra. While it's so strong it can win games as it is, if your opponent can't scout and they have to just be like, well, you open 9 pool, you seem like you're a little aggressive, like you don't want to play the long game. You're just kind of taking a guess here. This is just free advantage from Terra. As this Lair's about to finish up, he's been droning up behind this. So, I don't know. We'll see how this one goes, but I don't see this game ending immediately from either side as we started up.
Yeah, Drukat's still a bit weak, but I guess with all the hedging Stanley's forced to do here about scouting, yeah, he's looking alright. Unless this Stanley Stargate is going to be done too soon, forced to make all these cannons and stuff earlier. Another probe trying to get out, but no dice there. These Zealots keeping a vigilant watch, stopping any scouting from going down. Really nice job by NGZ. I guess if you open this way, then you really are taking control of the game from an early point, even though you're a bit behind. You can definitely mold things the way you want them to go. Now, okay, it's going to be 3-hatch Spire, but no second gas, so I don't expect there to be a meter attack here. With 9 pool speed, it is a common follow-up. If you don't kill the Protoss, you go for meter, but sometimes you just go for 2-hatch even. Not even going to wait that long, but this time I think he's just going to try and transition to a normal game. So that 4th hatchery already on the way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll end up seeing what it is. A lot of drones going down as well. So, like you're saying, without that extra gas, mutas do seem off. But when you have the links forward and you see a lot of cannons being made at the front, you can't really afford a lot in the main as well. So mutas do have a little bit of punch to them. Stanley again getting that air weapons upgrade a little bit delayed. So seems to like that style, likes having that threat here. Zealot's moving now, trying to fight these speedlings, but they don't have their +1 weapons. They don't have speed or anything. So, you know, not really getting anything done. There's enough cannons to cover the counterattack. Sail's going to move out, see if we can force some more units to get made, or maybe some static defense.
Yeah, I mean, a couple colonies do go down, so I mean, so far it's been worth it. But a lot of Lings are being made, so these Zealots have to be careful. They are going to die if they don't turn back, and it looks like they are going to commit here. I mean, it may still be worth it to make Zerg make all these Lings and Sunkens, but it would have been nice if he kind of just mind-gamed him, moved out, and then moved back again. Nonetheless, here he comes up in here. A lot of Speedlings surrounding from everywhere. And like you say, without +1, these Zealots not able to do that much. And she's not committed to the attack yet, though. Not sure why, because this definitely has enough to clean this up.
Oh, there's those mutas going down. Even without the fast second gas, still backed up quite a lot. So, you know, I think when you're not building Hydras, you're not building that Hydra den or trying to get your Evo chamber upgrades, like, you can do backup gas reasonably fast here. It has enough to keep making some more mutas. Only making the 4 for now. Supply block, unfortunately, going to kind of slow things down. Overlords finally pop out here. So this will give Stanel a chance to respond if he reveals the mutas. And I wouldn't want to move out of the map with just 4 of them at this point.
Yeah, so was he expecting a Citadel build because these Zealots are in the forward position, maybe? Because, you know, if you have like 4 mutas or whatever, they can start chipping away at least, and you always make more. But now it's kind of like, well, okay, you spent money on these mutas, already 2 Corsairs out. Now, Protoss is not scouted yet, which is a bit scary, but no Scourge have been made, so he should be able to evade these mutalists if he finds them, and I don't think he really get that much done. We already have defensive cannons up. I'm not a fan. That said, his economy is alright, he's throwing down more hatcheries. Oh, okay, Scourge now getting made, and a lot of mutas building up. Ooh.
Yeah, this could get dangerous if Sam just kind of waltzes into these things, especially as he's flying into the main. These units about to hatch. This could be real dangerous if he flies to the wrong spot and these Scourge managed to get some free connections. And here they are.
Oh, okay, somehow alive. The Mutalisks are already moving across the map here. They're going to go for the intercept. Can they finish off that wounded Corsair? I think they probably could. Well, let's see. He gets shots on one. Going to do the moving shot. Nicely done. Good damage so far. All very nice.
And not going to be able to get the other one. Going to try to back off. Does kill off one of the Corsairs. Adding on mutas behind this. And here come immediately 2 hatcheries behind. A lot of drones and flyer carapace. So not intending to add on more areas at the moment. But this is definitely going to pin Stanel back. Going to start being conservative. Finds an opening where he can start getting some more damage done. Oh, these Corsairs got to be careful not to get baited into the Scourge.
Oh my god. He's playing with fire. He needs more cannons here, to be honest. 1 is not enough. You need more. I mean, these Corsairs do try and bully back the mutas, but even if you just commit to these Scourge, 1 cannon is not going to stop these Scourge very quickly. Okay, he does start building another one, a pylon on the right going up, but I mean, probes are falling, and like you say, Zerg has just been droning up behind this so far. We don't see a Hydra yet, though.
This is still dangerous, though, because remember, this Corsair's got the +1 air weapons. They survive all the Scourge attempts in here, and they're going to start chasing down these mutas. A lot of damage done. And all these mutas end up falling pretty much, or bruised enough where they're not going to be able to fight. It's still a lot of drones behind this. Hydrogen just getting started. But now I think if you're these Corsairs, you kill off Cully's mutas, but you find some Overlords, you regain your map control. And Stanley's army back at home. It's looking still pretty good. Working on the +1 armor. And at speed, just getting stars and getting some Templar. So I think once everything kind of gets put together, Stan will be in good shape. But he's moving out early. Not sure how much I like this.
Yeah, like he needs more Corsairs, right? This is not a sufficient number really to fight off Mutas and Scourge. I mean, he's got to like 6 or 7, I think. The +1 helps, but he needs more. I'm surprised he stopped producing. I think that's a mistake because even if Zerg isn't coming to use, you can do that kind of like rewards, like you're saying. It is the thing. Now his Zealots are going to get picked off because the Scourge, the Corsairs are out of position and they can't even fight this Scourge. Like, this is not enough Corsair to fight this Scourge, although they do way overkill, allowing the Protoss to actually push this back. Bit of a misplay by NGZ there. Really didn't need to overkill, could have actually crushed all those Corsairs and then kept hitting these Zealots.
Yeah, I mean, even more from that Archon, though, while it does eat your capability to make storms later, that's still great anti-muta defense here. And that still seems to be the core of what we're seeing from this Zerg army. There's a lot of lings, mutas still being made, but now Hydra's getting added on. They're going to have to work towards their upgrades. These Corsairs flying around, can they find some kind of opportunity to get something done? Gotta be careful, a lot of Hydras
find their
here.
own death, yeah.
Away.
This is, like I was saying, A, not enough Corsairs, and B, this is not where they want to be. Okay, looks like they're going to take a 4th though, so Red is looking like their intent to just expand here. Another Corsairs come out, but like I said, he needs to build up to a higher number and really contest these air units, especially with +1 Carapace out now. Overlord speed only just building now though, so again, I feel like if only he built up more Corsairs, he could put a lot of pressure on, but this 3rd, that's not going to get up. That's a cancel right there. Because where is the Protoss army? Protoss army out of position. Even pulling back here, I'm not even sure I agree with it. Might have been better just to counter. Because there's no way you're saving this. Like, it's just not happening. But if you can pin the entire Zerg army here, well, let's see. Storms are not available. There's no energy. Okay, 1 storm, 2 storms are available. There's 1, not the best. Now Zerg's actually going to run up here and use this ramp.
Yeah, well, now you got a little high ground advantage, but there's no Nexus to kill. It does slow down that extra base, though. Stanley's going to try to force the way up here. I mean, Zealots are pretty beefy. Like, I guess if you want to try to go through, of course, they're fighting off these mutas off to the side, winning that exchange pretty handily. And this Zerg army got itself trapped in a corner. Stanley's army has enough muscle to clean it up. Now we're looking at a big supply lead from Protoss. Is he going to just sit back at home and take this 3rd base? Or is this an opportunity to counter? Because, I mean, Terra just to use a lot of his units, he doesn't have a whole lot ready, especially since Lurker Aspect just started.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still worth it for Zerg. Well, he didn't start his own 4th base, though, actually, so maybe it's more of a status quo. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's able to pull his Hydras back behind his defenses, because if he uses the ramps, if he uses the SimCity, he's looking fine. But if he fights on the map, I'm not so sure. Protoss have superior upgrades right now. Zerg have no upgrade at all. 1-1 for the Zealots going to help a lot. And these Corsairs coming in and nicely able to bully these Overlords while the fight is happening.
There's a storm available, though. This army starts to
really collapse in on
this 3rd base.
Oh.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage, hits a lot. A couple more Templar coming in. Stanley doing such good work with these storms so far. Repels back this army. You can choose to attack wherever you want at this point. At 3rd base, be free for the pickings. He just doesn't want to attack into it. At this late in the game, maybe he's assuming Lurker's done, but his opponent doesn't actually have it yet. So kind of like just being careful. But does take their own 12 o'clock base. And also at the bottom right, Stanley just loves this move.
Yeah, I guess he does, but Zerg seems to be on top of it. Or are they? They're just hanging out in this location. I mean, oh my god, this kind of tense right now. These Hydras so close to finding space, but looks like they do move on. Look, I feel like Stanley might have missed an opportunity there. He may have been able to break that 9 o'clock before Lurkers are out. There might have, I mean, there were Hydras hatching there, but I feel like he had barely enough to get in there. Would have been tough though, so it might make sense just to play safely here. Keep denying base, and look at this, he's going to deny this 4th, with his own 3rd on the way, and potentially 4th as well if that doesn't get denied. So he's looking pretty strong right now.
I saw 17 Lurkers in production. Did you?
Wow.
That number is ridiculous.
How do you have that much gas? Where even are they? There's like...
There's a bunch on the high ground pod.
Oh, right. Yes. God, that's a lot of Lurkers.
A lot of Lurkers. Of course, I do see them, so confirmation Lurker Tech is there. We'll see if there's any observers or anything, because I see the observatory.
Why are these probes going now? This is the worst possible time to send them. I don't know if Zerg even saw that. My god. Storm. No? Okay, it does storm before he dies. And this Protoss army has to scramble back here trying to defend this. God, look at this. They're so clumped, but there's so many of them. Nice job taking out those Overlords.
That is nice.
The Observer goes down. Oh, that's so critical.
Well, he has Storms though, but he's not using them. Okay, there goes another one. These Lurkers are so clumped. Do you even need to see where they are? These Templars keep running in though, taking so much damage before they cast their Storms. That one had energy for 2 Storms, but it's already dead. Not the best control for Stanley here. All these Templars just running in. But at the same time, it's not like Lurkers will ever get through that wall with those cannons. Now, this defense at the bottom right looks very shaky.
Yeah, like that. Those probes, I think he already knew about this base, but that probe transfer definitely gave it away. Here come a bunch of Lurkers moving down, some Lings as well.
They're all very low from those Storms. Is this cannon a goddamn hero? Well, it's targeting the wrong unit right now. It's probably going to get like 2 shot by those Lurkers. Oh. High ground vision was lacking for a second, but yeah, he will break through there. And but at the same time, Stanley is able to break through this containment. At least I think he will be able to with these non-focused firing Dragoons at the natural. Oh no, the probes. Couldn't you have just waited 2 minutes to transfer? Like, he saw the Lurkers morphing, and then that's when he chose to transfer. Okay, Stanley finally cleans this up. But you know what? Stanley's army got completely reset. And anytime the Protoss army gets reset, it tends to favor the Zerg. And he lost so many probes transferring to the bottom right. He didn't even need to go to the bottom right. The 12 o'clock was perfectly fine. The 1 o'clock, whatever.
I mean, it's just a little bit of that greed, I think, wants to get that hit base. And I saw Terra start to make a couple of them. I thought he was going to go back to a Muta switch at this point. But he is going back to the ground army, realizes how much he's actually killed. Another fight in the middle of the map. It's just Dragoons, 1 Templar. I think you want to chase this down. A couple Mutas here. That's going to be enough to kill off the Templar before the storm really happens. So, nice big move here from Terra, moving forward here and taking the top left base and that 10 o'clock base. Left side is going to be Zerg, and Stanley's going to be behind the gun again, but we've seen him pull himself out of this position before.
Well, it's going to be very tough here, I think, with only these 2 bases, and Zerg, like you say, on top of these hidden bases now, he knows. And the 4th coming up, 5th coming up. Only Goons here, like I said, Stanley really likes the Goons. Honestly, against this composition, it's not so bad. It's only Hydra Lurker, and you know, the Corsairs continue to get value, cleaning up these overlords after every fight, so maybe you're right. I mean, that's the first step on the road back for Stanley, definitely crushing that army there. But what's NGZ producing now? Now we're looking at a lot of Lings coming out. I think that's the right move. But same as before, we're not seeing a Queen's Nest, we're not seeing a Hive. We've got no Adrenal out, and I don't believe any melee upgrade. No, in there plus on armor, or carapace rather, plus 2 carapace on the way.
There's a lot of mutas, 11 in production right now. That's definitely a different take. Definitely you can pull your opponent out of position, not just try to fight head on with muscle only. So definitely opportunity for some finesse. A lot of Hydras are made as well. These mutas flying away from this Protoss army. I think you give up that 10 o'clock base opportunity to counterattack if you want to take it. And you can see Terra, he's moving away from that. It's like, all right, you kill one hatchery, you did it, but here comes my army for the counterattack.
Well, is he really going to be able to get into this 3rd base, though? Oh, Templar could have gone undefended. I think that 3rd base is pretty well defended, but oh, that is a lot of mutas, actually. They will be able to... oh, that Templar turning back. Not in time, though. 1 Corsair here, not going to be enough. But the Storm. Could the Storm go down? The Templar's getting in position. Oh, unfortunately, it just hits the ramp, so not really going to help there. So those mutas easily wipe out those cannons, allowing the Lings to surge through. I don't think this Nexus is long for this world, but the Protoss army is returning home here. Is he able to cut off all this? Oh, he tries to block the ramp with Lurker. Doesn't position it perfectly. Cancels it, actually. Is he actually going to be able to take out this Nexus? I don't think he is.
This is a scrappy game again. I don't know how Stano keeps getting himself in these situations, but another one where both players can establish these bases, just trading fights back and forth here. Stano does have like some good, these mutas still haven't been dealt with, unfortunately.
Yeah, and those Lurker eggs actually are buying a lot of time. Unfortunately, though, he didn't go for the Nexus. I feel like if he went for the Nexus from the start, he would have got it, but since he just went for probes, like, it's still going to stand, and I think Protoss will be able to get up here and clean this up. Yeah, looks like they will. Now, Zerg really needs to saturate that 4th base. Again, going for another 5th base down here. But if he wants the advantage in this game, he's going to need a few more drones, I think, because if Protoss can maintain the 3rd here, then he'll have enough to keep going toe-to-toe with Zerg for now. And eventually you win 3 bases, 3 bases. It's going to take some time, but you will win eventually.
And there's not a lot of anti-air here. It's 1 Corsair going to plug away to all his overlords on the top left. And Stanley moved another probe down to the bottom right. The classic Stanley move. I guess if you play Stanley, look for this kind of move here. But I actually like the army we're seeing from Stanley this game a lot more diverse. I actually like the mix of these DTs in the ground army like this. I think that has a lot of power if these kind of small straight up fights that he keeps kind of finding himself into. And he's actually still on Corsairs, being responsible, understanding his opponent will be willing to switch back to mutas, so gonna make sure you can still deal with that. A lot of overlords moving forward, some decent storms as well. these goods might be able to get some big damage here. A bunch of free Overlord kills always feels good at this stage in the game.
Well, like I was saying, not Blue, NGZ being diligent bringing the Overlords, but it also brings a risk of its own, right? The DTs didn't accomplish anything, so instead the Storms and Corsairs go to work on the Overlords. Now, once again, NGZ has a good army, just needs to get it together. I think an attack in a decisive location. Strong defense is going up in this top left, Spores and Sunkens, but you need Lurkers to back that up. Otherwise, these goons just come over here and bash this down. That's exactly what's going to happen. Now, the defenses at the 1 o'clock are still extremely weak. If Zerg just goes for a counterattack again, the status quo may be maintained here. It looks like Zerg going to try and defend. I'm not so sure about this. I don't think you have time to get here. I think this base is going to fall before Zerg can really do anything about it. So let's see. Oh, that's score! Boom, because observer.
Yeah. This attack still like going for both players. Both players so focused on like denying bases, fighting in the middle of the map like this. That bottom right base that the Zerg made hasn't like even really done anything yet. The probe from Standal hasn't even started a Nexus. It's just been waging war constantly over positions. And I'm seeing a move from Terra. This is what I want to see last game. Dropping research. Definitely going to be a viable option later on once you get that completed.
Ooh.
As we're seeing, Lings and Lurkers still being made in bulk, but still no Hive Tech. Come on, guys. Dark Sword is so good for these kind of situations, especially with Stale showing how much he loves to make Dragoons.
I really wish he wouldn't go for this bottom right base. I just feel like it's a huge risk when he's fine if he just secures this 12. He can continue putting pressure on this bottom left. Since Zerg skipped the 10 o'clock, he actually has quite a tenuous position to defend here. Okay, going to take out a luck for free, that's nice. But he's going to overextend, I think, and take this bottom right. And again, it's just a matter of Zerg finding out about it, and then it's just going to get crushed, and like you lost a lot of minerals investing in that. Once again, Mr. Stan has a fairly low pro count after losing so many under attack. If he's going to secure this base, he's going to need a few more to mine properly. Again, no Lurkers in this location, though. Zerg completely pulling down to the bottom right. I mean, I guess he is aware of this sneaky base about to go up, but I think he's a bit too aware, because so far there's only a pylon, but he immediately loops back to counter the natural, thinking, okay, if your army's here, what can you really have at home? But I mean, there's a lot of Templars there. If he gets the Storms off, that can really stop this attack from going through. Oh, but he's going to the 1 o'clock. He says that's the weakest location for sure. There is a Templar there as well this time, though. It's got 2 Storms. I mean, 2 good Storms can really destroy this attack. Is he paying attention, though? There's one decent Storm. Only kills a probe, unfortunately. Needs another. Needs another. Where's the Storm? Okay, that's a good Storm, but I don't think it's enough of the amount of Zerg coming in here. I think he will crush this base once again. The hatchery in the top left is left standing as the Protoss army retreats. I think that's a huge mistake. But maybe the cannons are barely enough to hold this. Oh, it's going to be close. With that many Lurkers, though, the probes are definitely going to fall.
Yeah, there's still a lot of Zerg units getting sacrificed here. Drop does finish getting research, and that top left base, everything got eliminated from it except for the hatchery, but still has a lot of drone kills, a lot of infrastructure.
Oh, the probes! Well. Oh no. Oh. So once again, we see Stenel dropping down to only about 25 probes. Really needs to remake a whole bunch here. Oh.
Gosh, I mean, at least he's got that 12 o'clock base that did finish up the Nexus. Going to have the extra production. 2 of the bases are mined out. Here comes a transfer, and hope that just in time the Zerg is doing it clear. Yeah. So that 1 o'clock base is going to be right as right. It's going right back into action. It barely even had any downtime. They didn't even have to close the store, honestly.
But he needs to remake a lot more probes right now. He's going to keep up with the Zerg. Now, Zerg, like you say, still not mining from this bottom right. Finally, he just puts the drones on there. But the top left hatchery is still up. If he can get the defenses up again and manage to drone these up before Protoss can destroy them, he's going to be in a really good position here. But can he? I mean, Zerg is getting these Sunkens up, but Protoss is not waiting. He's just heading all his units across this top left. I think he knows this is the critical location, but I mean, Templar's not going to kill a Sunken. What has he got? 3 goons and an Archon. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he can actually win that fight. I think the Sunkens would actually be victorious there.
I mean, this is just a weird spot, though. Look what Terra made. All Lurkers all the time, moving across the middle of the field. So knowing that the army is attacking the top left, maybe you go for the 12 o'clock, you can cut out the reinforcements, or try to go for the kill blow on the 1 o'clock base. Now you have a lot more muscle behind this, and we are seeing Hive on the way, so we're going to be able to get those tech units eventually. And these Lurkers, they're moving up towards that 12 o'clock base. There's no defense here at all. This is going to be fantastic.
The hatchery in the top left, it's still alive. Honestly, you might as well just kill that hatchery, because I don't think this Protoss army is going to be able to dislodge all these Lurkers. These goons just walk into their doom. You need to storm when they're this clumped. You can't engage at all. Okay, nice Storms go down, starting to do the damage, but there's still so many of them. I don't see this Nexus surviving. Storms his own Archon to death even, and how much energy is left. These Templars walking forward, getting hit by these Lurkers so unnecessarily, and yeah, he can't clean all this up. I think this Nexus is done for. That Archon kills off 1 more. Well, I mean, are there any Protoss reinforcements? No, his economy is too small. There's not enough probes left, so there's nothing coming up to help this.
Yeah, which actually I kind of like what we're seeing here. Shut down that 12 o'clock base, a couple of Lurkers moving towards the 1, and I saw 18 lanes in production. This when you see this 1 o'clock base with only a couple cans here, I think you just swarm those across, or at least it's some mobile defense. The Corsair fleet from Sale still being as active as it can, but that means your supply is actually...
Lurker drop at the 1 o'clock. I mean, Protoss reacted promptly. He's still got a few probes.
No, they just walked up there. That
did
wasn't
they?
a drop.
Oh, my bad.
They just waltzed on.
I did not even see that. They just ran past him. Okay. But yeah, Protoss
I thought they were kind of scouting the defense so the Lings can come up and finish the job. We see them burrow down the bottom of the ramp. A couple Lings kind of moving forward here. And Terra going to start adding on drones again, try to establish some of these bases. The top left, again, attempting to make creep colonies. I will defend that base, he says.
Well, I mean, Protoss keeps leaving the hatchery alive. As soon as he actually gets it defended, then he has so many bases. I don't think Protoss can really do much. Protoss only mining with 20 probes from one base. I mean, it seems almost impossible for him to come back from this position. I mean, the last game, I think he came back from pretty long odds, but I think these odds are a bit longer. These Corsairs looking for any value they can. There's even a Spore down there. There is a couple of Overlords he can finish off at least, but it's not going to be enough to turn this game, just killing those.
Yeah, well, look at the small Protoss army, the ragtag group of 4 dudes. They're going to fight these Zag defenses, unfortunately. I don't know why Terra refuses to have units at that base. He just keeps making
he has so many lurkers, but he just keeps using them to attack. I feel like no one told him that lurkers are for defense. You know, he's like, oh, this unit does good damage. All right, A move, go. Again, so many Templars here that are unable to even touch these Sunkens. It's a bit sad. But look at that Zerg army amassing. He's going to collapse on this tiny Protoss force. A couple of storms would work wonders against all those Lings, but he needs to cast them preemptively, and the Lings are already on top of him. That is a good storm. Decent damage going down there, but I think it's not enough. I think that Protoss army gets cleaned up pretty easily. Corsairs coming over here to fight these Mutalisks.
Yeah, I guess it's like what you gotta do at this point. They've had a couple a fight here. The Corsairs not being micro. The Mutas don't want to engage the fight. They're gonna back right off though. Hydras are getting made, so Terra keeps changing up the Zerg composition, what units they're making, and keeps doing enough damage to stand. Remember, he didn't get that 12 o'clock base up. That 1 o'clock base is starting to run a little low on minerals. Like, it's definitely below the halfway point, so gotta get that next base up for Stanley. You can see he's already struggling to build units. While Terra's sitting pretty on several bases, a good drone count.
Oh, these Templar, he doesn't have anything to protect them on their own. They can't do anything. So these Lings, their natural prey, are just picking them off.
Just nibble them to death. You did it, Lings. Good job.
And look, he's just looking at all these creep colonies, unable to do anything. Oh.
Alright, so humor me. Maybe that's the big brain play. If you never kill the hatchery at the top left, he'll keep making all these creep colonies.
Right.
It's the long-term cash loss. Like, you just keep investing in the buildings.
That's true, that's true. But I mean, what army does he have? What economy does Protoss even have right now? I mean, he's building a few more Templars, but he can't afford like the big massive zealots he's going to need. So I've got 50 drones here. Hive is done. What's he actually going to do with it? I don't see a Defiler Mound yet anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the Hive tech. I don't even think he got the Ling attack upgrade yet. I'd have to actually see him attack something. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay, so these Corsairs though, he's still cruising. I mean, theoretically, if he just keeps killing Overlords forever, Zerg's gonna run out of money, right?
I mean, I suppose, but if you only kill Overlords, eventually you're just going to die to real units. You can see he's starting to make a lot of Hydras in the middle of the map. Has some Lings and Mutas still alive as well. I think if the units kind of grow up here, he's going to be a good spot. But even Lings just hanging out by that 12 o'clock to make sure. Here comes the move forward. Again, it's just a couple Templar. Magic Storms maybe does enough damage. First one does a lot. First is Zealot, but well worth the damage he did. And we can see these Corsairs going to reinforce. Another attack by Terra up at the 1 o'clock base, but this seems hard to break. There's a good amount of storms, a couple cans as well. I think you back off and realize you have a lot more bases, a lot more economy. You don't have to push the issue either.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Like, and now look at this top left. He even has a few Zerglings to back it up. Like you say, I still don't think he got Adrenal, which is a bit unfortunate. Only starting +3 Carapace just now. Did he get any melee upgrade? Oh, he's got +3 melee already, so I guess he was already planning the hive switch. But Ultra Cavern coming up, and you know, when you're really ahead, that is a good way to end the game, bust into fortified Protoss bases. Look at this! Stanley is like, but I still have my signature move, but NG said already has a hatchery going down there. Even if he doesn't put drones here, the hatchery's going to get in the way.
He had a Ling in that base and Stanley didn't even scan for it. Like, the Ling saw the pylon being made. It's like, wait, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, these Hydras coming down here to be like, no, that's not what you're doing today. Just stop.
Yeah, and another mass drone drone transfer up to the top left as well. Now, I will say I'm not sure if I love the positioning of Terra's army because it's very committed to one side, and we've seen how Santa loves to attack this top left base over and over. While he doesn't have the army to actually muscle through.
Yeah, he couldn't break that now.
Yeah, but a couple storms destroys all those drones.
I mean, how do you get the Templars close enough for all those Sunkens? I don't know about that. I don't think this is such a good idea. Maybe if he focuses the Spore, the DT can go to work, but then that's like his whole army. Like, is that really going to be worth it? And look at this Zerg army coming back up here. Protoss desperately trying to take this 12 o'clock, but the Zerg's going to come up from the south. I think he will be able to crush this army. Where are the Storms at? So much energy, but so few Storms. There's a decent one, but he storms his own Observers and his own Templars. And there's not much left here. Zerg searching for everything, crushing this little Protoss outpost. But the Corsairs, they're still here for kills. Oh, no, they're running.
The Corsairs doing...
one of them died. He had 5 Corsairs
Oh.
for so long, but one of the 5 Musketeers is dead. Oh,
Yeah,
sad.
finally happening. We are starting to see production of these Ultralisks, that armor upgrade
And
nearing
Ultralisks.
completion as well.
Oh no, he has 2 out already.
But yeah, he's starting to make them, but he didn't make the chitinous plating yet. So
Yeah.
these could be better Ultralisks, but still, this is gonna be a very robust unit. Standal is taking his meager army, going to go down to the bottom
Lurker
right.
drop. Lurker drop at the 1. Oh no, this is going to be huge. Look
Oh,
how many
yes.
probes are compressed there. They're all on that
Yes.
one patch too. Oh no. Oh my god, he kills 10 with a single spine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
No
Standal
reaction
is pushing
yet.
it to the bottom. Standal's pushing it to the bottom right. He's too focused on his attack of a hatchery with nothing there to defend it.
Probes
So he's
pulled
losing
finally.
a lot back at home. This just isn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's saying if I can't have this base, no one will. I don't care if I'm losing the game. I'm gonna make sure this bottom right is mine. I mean, he's starting to build a pylon there. He's just dedicated to this. The probe's even heading down there already. Zerg?
And he finds the other base on the bottom, but that's 4 sunken, so you got to go up a ramp.
Spores
Andros
too.
be killed, but still, Standal's trying to transfer the probes. There's no nexus here, though. Like, where are these guys gonna go? Unfortunately, got to wait for the creep to pow out, and he actually doesn't have 400 mils to make the nexus either. So really running on fumes here. Terra playing so well. Look at this army engaging in the middle. Ultras and lurkers.
Slow
and,
ultras without chitinous, getting in there, doing their damage. With +2 melee, they do good damage. GG. NGZ takes this one. I guess the tricks, Stanley's tricks not working this time with his sneaky base. He tried so many times, he really wanted that base.
Yeah, I think Stan will take a play to Snipes PvZ. Just long, like drawn out wild games. So
Now, that is
but-
going to be our final game for tonight, but we have a special event this weekend. As is CPL tradition at the start of the season, we are going to determine, definitely, definitively, totally, like, means everything, the best player in each tier. King of the Tier is happening this weekend. State0, which day is it going to be? Is that determined?
the games are going to be played on Saturday. That's in the CPL Discord. There's an announcement post with links to all the brackets of Channel Launch. Make sure you sign up. There's also a very cute little poster made that they always make for these, using the adorable kind of art style to give you all the real details. As far as casting goes, we're still trying to figure out if that's going to be casted later on Saturday or maybe a Sunday affair. Things still have to be ironed out, but the game is definitely played on Saturday. Make sure you sign up on those brackets. Make sure you're checking it out because this is your first opportunity to get in some more CPL games that I'm not going to say they matter. Like, you definitely want to win the tournament, but now you got your teams, you got your coaches. Here's some chance to get some replays to analyze and really get to work.
Right, for sure. So, does that mean we're asking for volunteers for casting too? I know we have some people who sign up for casting. If any one of those is listening, would they be eligible for this King of the Tier cast?
Well, I did. I think I mentioned it in the casting channel, but yeah, if you have any expressed interest to casting things, please let me know. We do have a sign-up sheet. This will be an event that'll happen over, but there's still plenty of preseason as well, so make sure you're communicating in Discord. We'll figure something out. As far as the actual tournament, we're still trying to figure out all the details. The info will be posted as soon as we have any kind of knowledge about it, but just Saturdays when you're playing, that's all you need to know for now.
Alright, excellent. Well, that's going to be it from us today. We'll see you in the next match of the week, or maybe 6-0 see you in King of the Tier. Goodbye.
Oh, no, wait, you didn't close the stream, right?
I didn't close the stream.
Fantastic, I need to teach you how to shill. We got cast tomorrow, buddy.
We do?
got Pancake Princess casting some Match of the Week EU edition
I didn't
earlier
know
in the
that.
afternoon. She's going to be casting, I think, group 34, some high-end stuff. I think she's casting the quad. That's going to be a good time. That's
So what
tomorrow
time
afternoon.
will that be? Like, what time Eastern is that?
in the afternoon Eastern.
Okay, so like 2, 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think around like 2 or 3 p.m. That'll definitely be announced in the Discord channel. And then later that evening, Cold War is going to be casting as well. So trust me, plenty more CPL StarCraft action. Definitely going to be having a bunch tomorrow. Probably more stuff over the weekend. And then, like I mentioned, the King of the Tier. So trust me, make sure you're following this channel, following any community casters. Lots of content for you to watch. And I will teach this guy to shill one day, I promise.
Hey, I didn't know we were doing an EU cast, so don't blame me. But alright, is that it? Do I have your permission, sir?
Yes, you have my permission to close it down. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Farewell.